Friday. The beam was shining bright last night as the Kings get back on the right foot. Actually, they weren't on the wrong foot, but just get back out there after the All-Star break. They take care of business barely against the Spurs, 127-122. Nate Littlefield behind the glass. Chris Watkins, Alan Stiles got you till 2 p.m. on this beautiful Friday. If it's a payday for you, enjoy yourself. If it's not, hang in there. Hopefully it'll be next week. Chris, how you doing?
Great. Yeah, it's not a payday for us, but still feeling good. It's
protect
a good
your
Friday.
chickens.
Yes, protect your chickens. And it was a good game yesterday. Exciting game. Of course, we talked about in the past. We ideally would have liked to see the Kings make that an easy game, a fourth quarter blowout. But we also know that that's just not how things happen here in Sacramento. So. Got to take it how you can get it, but nonetheless, exciting game and feeling good on a Friday. Excited to get this thing going.
Yeah, the bottom line is we sat there. I was in the post game. You were doing your post game. I was in the post game presser with Coach Mike Brown. Weird because when you look at the box score, we know the game's not played on paper. 5 guys in double figures, 4 guys with 20 plus points, and the first thing Coach says when he comes out is that was not a pretty game. And to me, it didn't feel like an ugly game. I think
we've seen uglier.
We've seen uglier.
Yeah.
I think it comes off as ugly because of who it was. And prior to the game, in the pregame presser, I asked Coach Mike Brown. I said, "Hey," and I basically knew what he would say, but I was just curious if he would give me a little bit of a look into it. If he would give me something, I asked, "Is there an emphasis on beating some of these teams that are lower in the standings?" And obviously the easy answer is, hey, we're going to take everybody, pretty seriously. We can't.
They're all professionals.
We can't just roll the ball out. So he did give me that answer, but at the end, he did say if that were the case, right, and we played based on what the perception was, we probably don't win that game in Denver because the perception and everybody thought, hey, these guys just coming off of a loss. Now they got to go to Denver right before the break.
Right.
They're probably just not going to have it. So you have to fight through that. And he basically just said, doesn't matter who it is. We need these games. Yes. And he goes out and we're to the point now where a win is a win.
That's it.
We'll see how that translates to facing the Clippers on Sunday. We'll get there later in the show, but you get it done and that's all that matters. We have Fair or Foul. That'll be later in the show as well. We will break down Sabonis. Does he remind you of someone on the 49ers, a star in the making, you might say? And I see on the text line left over from Carmichael Dave with Jason Ross, hopefully you talk about the A's and their shenanigans. Oh, we will. That is on the docket as well. Nate, how are you doing as well, Nate? We're just gonna get right into it.
Oh, I'm doing good.
It's Friday.
I'm out
man.
of town after this.
Really?
I'm headed to Chico, California.
Weren't you just in not
I was
SoCal,
in Pacifica.
but yeah.
SoCal. That's NorCal.
No, that's not. It's south of this. It's south of here.
Oh, yeah, South Bay.
Yeah,
right,
I'm saying you're going north, you're going south, you're all over the place.
Yeah. I like to have fun.
There you go.
Plain and simple.
Period.
There
Plain
you
and
go.
simple.
All right. Well, we'll a little bit later in the show, as well as I'm still becoming a Sacramentan and all that jazz, I will be visiting Frank Fats for the first time. I hear it's a staple.
I only hear good things
in Sacramento. You've never been?
I have only walked in. I've never eaten in there. I've just walked in just to.
I've never been either, but from the outside it looks like The Sopranos.
Funny enough,
or maybe more Goodfellas.
Maybe that's just it's the name, it's the whole swag. But then they have Chinese food, so that's what's so interesting about it.
There's a relation between Chinese food and Italian. Like the noodles. I guess apparently the Italians stole a lot of food from the Chinese.
This was very Chris for a lot of you, by the way. that synergy right there. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Funny enough,
I went to UC Davis, everybody.
There you go.
Graduated too.
Graduated. Come on, Nate.
Funny enough, I have only walked into Frank Fats because the last time I went, it was too crowded and we didn't have time to wait.
I think that's what happened with me.
So yes, we have a reservation this time. So the menu is crazy. So help me out here, everyone who has been there. What do we have to get? Chris Verlot has already put in a nod at the honey walnut shrimp. So we will talk about all of that. Fair or Foul coming up a little bit later as KD gets into it with some fans. But getting back to also Boogie says he is moving on from the NBA. Moving on was the term, so I don't know that he's retiring from basketball. So, hey, why not? It's Friday. Hit us up when we do that segment. Hit us up
we talked Luka. We talked Halliburton earlier this week. Why not complete the trifecta?
Exactly. Hit us up with your favorite Boogie stories if you have any. I know Chris probably has about 5 off the top of his head as we get back to the Kings and what they were able to do last night. What stuck out to me, Chris, was how the Kings have these spurts where they're getting after you. At one point, they were running full court press like March Madness. Yeah. But then 5 minutes later, they get Zion, lackadaisical, and all of a sudden, it's a tie game again.
Yeah.
It is such a roller coaster, not even throughout the game, just every 5 minutes with these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm still just having a bit of anxiety to see whether or not they can consistently play. Maybe not that level, but why so hot and cold defensively? It's almost like I would take you going a little bit less hard in those hot moments to sustain warm for the whole game.
Yeah.
I would rather take that than we're going to go hard for 5 minutes and then we're just going to leave a layup line for the next 5 minutes. And Devin Vassell, I mean, he was just balling, by the way.
Oh, my goodness. I know. I thought he had more threes when I looked at the end of the game. He was only 3 of 4. I was like, I feel like this dude was just hitting maybe it's because he hit that one really tough three in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I think that what you pointed out is exactly what I saw too. Right on the nose. Like their on-ball defense at points was crazy. Like when Davion was out there, and it wasn't actually just Davion did great point of attack defense yesterday. I saw Malik picking up at half court a couple times. I was like, this is brand new for not brand new, but like the level of intensity that I saw in those moments was really refreshing. And it's the lapses of defense. But that's what Mike Brown's talked about all year long. It's like it's a cliche, it's coach speak, but you have to play for 48 minutes. Like you just do have to play until the final whistle. And maybe that's, to your question to Mike Brown, that's maybe where this team is showing like we're not going to give 100% attention and focus to the Spurs. They probably felt like, oh yeah, we just went up 9 in the fourth quarter. This is probably where the Spurs are just going to collapse. And the Spurs did the complete opposite. There was a moment where, it was a 9-point or a 7-point game. And then literally 45 seconds later, it was a 2-point game. And then the Spurs got the lead. And it was a great way of closing that game out. But overall, I mean, of course, I think the Kings would have liked to get that result a whole lot easier. But to what Mike Brown told you at the end of your question, just because they barely beat the Spurs, that honestly doesn't dictate anything for Sunday. It's a brand new game. Anything can happen. And just because they only beat the Spurs by 7 doesn't mean they won't come out Sunday and they can't beat the Clippers by 15. Now, it also might mean it could mean something, and it could say, hey, you only beat the Spurs by 7. Now you guys get destroyed by 15, and we'll just have to see. But there's no direct correlation between their play yesterday and what they're going to do on Sunday.
And that's exactly what Coach said when I asked him that question. He said, we cannot put more emphasis on the Clippers game coming up after this than we do on tonight's game. And he's exactly right, because not to say that they maybe did. That's his thought process, not the players' thought process. Not to say that they did, but they almost tricked off one. And we're to the point now, when we get back, we'll talk about it a little bit more. A win is a win, right? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda. At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Bonus goes right by Wembanyama with a big hero step. He leaned left, went right, and that caught the Frenchman totally by surprise.
A win is a win. That's what they say. And as the Kings will have their work cut out for them with the Clippers on deck on Sunday. So they get a couple days off today, and then Saturday they'll probably travel down, I would say, tomorrow. And then you take on the Clippers for just a couple of random one-offs where you have the Clippers in LA, then you come back for the Heat, and then you go back on the road. So that's a back-to-back.
It's brutal.
We've had these back-to-back conversations before. They have started to figure it out a little bit, right? They won one on the second half of the back-to-back, and then they beat those two lowly teams on the back-to-back. And then most recently, Chris, did they split again?
Yeah,
that was on the road trip, right?
To remember, yeah. I mean, it's kind of our memory is a little foggy because of the time we spent in Vegas, but I believe that they are, I could be wrong, 3-3, maybe 3-4 on back-to-backs. I'll look it up right now, but they've definitely figured it out. Because I mean, if we remember, the real problem was not necessarily that they were just losing on back-to-backs. It was that the second night of a back-to-back was an unwatchable game from them. They would just get blown out by like 40.
And I got you right here. So this is StatMuse. So they just have the games where they didn't have a break.
Right. 0 days rest.
Yes, 0 days rest. So they have the second game, I believe, not the first one. So on January 3rd, they beat the Magic. That's when that's when they got that win after they had lost the day before. Right. And then, either the 9th and the 10th or the 10th and the 11th, they beat the Hornets, and then the Pistons. Then after that, it was February 3rd where they beat Chicago. And was that Chicago, Indiana? Is that what that was?
Yeah, I believe so.
So they won that back-to-back, and then most recently they lost the first game they lost to the Suns and then beat the Nuggets. So it's looking more normal.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
looking more normal. I don't think it's a full-on thing anymore. If you're looking at the record here, just from those second games, they're literally 4-4.
Yep.
They're 4-4 for the second game.
Yes.
And then those first games, I know they have at least 2 losses because they lost to the Suns.
Yeah.
And they lost to whoever that was before the Orlando Magic as well.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I mean, there's still a problem. Like, I'm looking at their numbers, and of course, naturally, your numbers are always going to be down in those games. But they're shooting 45% in those games, which is down from 49% on 1 day's rest. And then from 3, they shoot 31% in those games. Typically, shoot 37.9% on 1 day rest. So, I mean, you could argue that the offense is still a problem on those second nights of back-to-backs, but as was the case in that Denver game after the Phoenix, you got to play defense. That's really the key in back-to-backs, and that's why the Kings have really struggled in those games, not just because they can't make shots, but they're not playing any defense. And you should know that on the second game of a back-to-back, you're going to be more tired. Your shots are going to fall more short, and so you're going to have to try and get stops to win those games. And I think that Denver game was really, I talked about it at the time. I feel like that should be the model that they try and take into all of those games. It's okay if it doesn't look pretty, especially again, like Mike Brown said about last night, it doesn't have to look good. Just get the result, man. Just get the freaking result at this point.
Yeah. And really, I would love to get both games, obviously, but if you're asking me if I had to pick between the Clippers and the Heat, I don't think I'm the only one that would say this. I would definitely pick a win against the Clippers.
Yes,
Easy.
absolutely. For confidence
Easy,
sake,
for
please.
confidence, just to see, okay, how that win would look, how that matchup would look, because that's a team that you might have to see again.
Yes.
The Heat, all right.
You ain't got to see them.
You don't have to see them.
This is the last time you're going to see them all year.
And I would even argue that this is not a bad team, and I got to watch myself here because as soon as you say something like that, they'll burn you. But this is not the worst team to face off a back-to-back when defense is your issue. I know Tyler Hero can do some things, and obviously there's Jimmy Butler, but there are much worse teams you could face from an offensive standpoint as far as what they're able to do off a back-to-back than the Heat. You got to deal with the Clippers first, but this is a back-to-back that would definitely be a nice to have. Not you need it, but it would definitely be a nice to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think so, especially with Denver and Minnesota on the other end of it. We talked about it a lot yesterday, but you got to try and split these. Got to try and go 2-2 at the least. If you don't, it's okay. But these are the good teams, man. These are the teams that if you want to be a serious playoff team, you're going to have to face competition that's to this level. And it's a good early test for them. It's a good way of kind of, hey, you got to kind of get your feet wet a bit with the Spurs, but now this thing is ramping up, and hopefully, this Clipper game will ramp them up like it did last year and just kind of set the tone where they can stay at that level for some period of time. It does get a little bit easier on the other side of this 5-game stretch. You look after the March 1st Timberwolves game, you got the Bulls, you got the Lakers, you got the Spurs again, and that starts a 6-game homestand. So if you can get to the other side of this, and just 500, keep your head above water right now, there's greener pastures on the other side. And then, as we know, it gets tougher later. But I think this little pocket that we're going to have here in this next week is going to be really, really big for this team. And just, I think maybe not necessarily as big for the standings as what it's going to matter later, but I think for perception and for like confidence of us and maybe even the fan base of, if they can play well in this stretch, I think that goes a long way in making us feel better about this team in the playoffs.
This is one of those stretches that in the past they have not really, they have played okay. They have kept their head above water. We are still waiting. We had this conversation for months about the Kings turning the corner. So Chris, they get a win last night. And I know that we have spent a lot of time saying, okay, 17 gets you to 48. But I think on this show today, on a payday Friday for certain people, and if it is,
it's now
enjoy
16.
yourself.
It's now 16 wins.
But that's what I'm saying. I want to change this, and because of what's going on, if we really want to ensure that the Kings are going to get that 6th seed, I think we need to do away with that 48.
Okay.
And set the bar a little bit high, shoot for the moon, and you'll land amongst the stars at worst. I think we need to start that number at 50.
Okay. I think that's fair.
So I
that's the number that
safer.
they wanted last year too.
I just think it's safer instead of looking for 48. 48 is not, it ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Last year's price is not today's price.
It's definitely not.
So the number is not 16 if you're listening on Sactown Sports, right?
We'll do it.
The number is 18.
Yep. Yes. Yep. It's now sitting at 18. I know. I had to do quick math. I was like, wait, add 1 and then add 2, subtract.
It would have been. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
you need 2 more wins. Yeah. So we need 18. We're down to 18.
Yep.
Can they get 18 wins, 18 more wins, and get to lucky number 50? Because I feel like 50, you're it. You are probably that 6th seed.
Yeah.
48. I have no clue.
Yeah, you're playing with fire.
I have no clue. And a little bit later in the show, we'll discuss the other teams. And it's about that time to start doing a standings watch. And we'll tell you each day.
Yeah, I was like, we might have to do it daily.
Yes, each day we will tell you who Kings fans are rooting for besides the Kings. And it's going to be rough some days. We had to root for the Warriors last night because the Lakers are ahead of the Warriors in the standings.
I think we should have rooted for Dallas yesterday.
We should have rooted for Dallas,
because that makes everything closer.
And the problem is Dallas is hot now.
I know.
Those 3 teams, all 3 of them are hot. The Pelicans, the Suns, and the Mavs. Coming up next, we continue the conversation about whether a win is a win. And did it look like the Spurs were actually trying to win the game. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support could be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Chris Fox in the lane in transition. He scores again. It's just going up and down here. All of a sudden, the pace has intensified. Kings lead 76-71. Fox is now up to 17 points in this one.
Some Niners news. There's some NFL news that helps the Niners. This is from David Lombardi. The NFL's newly announced salary cap for 2024, $255.4 million, is a whopping 13.6% increase over the 2023 number of $224.8 million. Original expectations were in the low 240s. A few days ago, those up to approaching 250. 255.4 blows that away and means that the 49ers should be in even better shape to retain their core of star players for 2024 with the boost for 2025 business, in quotes or in parentheses, see Brock Purdy as well. So good news.
Inflation's getting crazy, guys. Inflation's out of control.
Inflation, and the NFL is king. The NFL is king, and they continue to bring in money, and the Niners are going to have another shot at this, at least one. And, you know, I saw something else, Chris, and it was the conversation of, well, the Niners have played a lot of games and they really haven't slowed down at all. And the spin on it was that it was good because they've proven that they could sustain this level. But in my mind, I'm thinking, maybe I'm just pessimistic. In my mind, I'm just thinking, doesn't that mean no effect? I mean, doesn't that mean they're due in some type of the idea of them continuing to play all these extra games every single season, and they unfortunately don't have anything to show for it. I know, something similar happened with the Eagles, right? And that's just a Super Bowl run. This is the Niners. I can't remember what I think the Eagles lost in the wild card 2 years ago. So then you have the Niners now, who this whole stretch, they've at least gone to the NFC. They went to the Super Bowl this season. Last season, they went to the NFC Championship. And then the season before that with Jimmy, did they lose in the NFC Championship? Was that Jaquaski Tart?
Yes, I was there in person for that
so
game.
that's 3.
But Jaquat, that's not fair because there's like 7-8 minutes left in that game. It's just not fair to put it on Tart.
It's not fair. That's
it was
how I
a terrible
remember it.
throw by Stafford. Should have been intercepted.
Yes.
I almost squeezed my cousin to death when it happened, but it's not fair to put it all on that.
That's just how I recall. So that's the last 3 seasons, they've gone at least to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
That's a lot of mileage. And one could say, wow, this is impressive. But one could also say, how long can it last is how I will put it. But looks like they'll be able to retain their core for at least another season.
Yeah, I mean, on the amount of games, I personally would think that's a detriment. I mean, especially with football in general, it feels like you'd want to save as much, as many hits as you could possibly take on your body. And of course, like going to those games is great, but it's really tough for long-term sustainability. And they've done a great job of plowing through that, really. But at some point, you do have to think that that's going to catch up with them. And I do wonder how much of this I do see. One of my friends here sent me the cap thing and said, unironically, this is kind of the Taylor Swift effect as well. The NFL jumped $30 million in cap space over the year. That's probably a lot of unexpected revenue that came in.
That's so true.
And how crazy is it that it could literally just be like all of those? I mean, of course, let's not give all of the credit to Taylor Swift, but I'm sure she's responsible for maybe like 5, maybe 10 mil of that salary cap going up.
I'm sure your significant other was getting texts as well from people who never watched football before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Very into the game.
Yeah.
And literally were Chiefs fans. It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was nuts, and I don't know if it'll sustain. Look, I'm to the point now. Could you call Taylor an advisor? Should she get a Super Bowl ring?
She should, yeah. Because I think Jay-Z is an advisor to the NFL. You got to put Taylor Swift
I think Taylor deserves,
at this point.
If there is a direct correlation to the percentage of what the Chiefs made and how that raised the NFL's revenue, I think, and I'm not kidding, I think Taylor Swift should get a Super Bowl ring. I'm being dead serious. They've given crazier situations.
Yeah.
All right. That and I don't want to tick off anybody because you talk about Taylor Swift. Come on, that's not football. But I do. That's just how I feel.
Maybe Christian Juszczyk's jackets. Also
maybe that one feels better.
Well.
She's making one, I think, for Aisha Curry. I saw on the social media. And look, the thing is, the reason I'm even giving these flowers to Taylor is because it's ultimately helping the Niners.
Yes, exactly.
Because the Niners, everyone's fighting. Who can you keep? Can you keep Ayuk?
Yeah.
This helps the Niners retain
helps a lot of teams, honestly.
Their players. It helps a lot of teams. So we will see how that all unfolds. Getting back to the Kings, and not just the Kings, but the Spurs. Chris, we half joked yesterday about Popovich. Not real. I did see him coaching up some of the guys yesterday, Devin Vassell and Sheldon, other guys on the team.
Yell at Wemby a couple times too.
Well, Wemby was taking some terrible shots, right?
Deserved it.
And somebody said that Wemby made a 3 late in the game.
Yeah, that was a big 3.
That might have been the only one he made. He was clanking.
No, it literally was the only 3
he was clanking last night, and then he got taken out about 2 minutes later or whatever, and people were saying the Spurs aren't even trying to win, and we joked about it as well. It's not a minutes restriction. We were discussing it during the game, but they're clearly monitoring his minutes because this season means absolutely nothing besides how much they want to get out of it for his development. How good should Kings fans feel that you won a game that the Spurs weren't trying to lose, but they weren't really trying to win.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was a good win. You should take it. We've said it. Like, wins are wins at this point in the season. And the Kings played a part in it's not like I don't think Victor just sucked because he had a bad day. Like, I think the Kings played a part in it.
Yeah.
So I think they should feel good about that. They made him really inefficient, 8 for 21. Yeah, he was 1 of 6 from 3,
and there was
that was all Wemby.
Threes.
That was all Wemby.
Those are bad threes.
Yeah, they did not force Wemby to take any of those threes. He was taking step backs. He was just pulling up on people. I wouldn't say I was disappointed. As someone who was there to see the spectacle that is Wemby, that's what I want to see. I want to see or tell people, hey, yeah, I saw this 7'5" dude pull 6 times from 3. Ideally, if I had no horse in the race, I would say it would be awesome if he hit 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. But that's what you want to see from him. But at the same time, again, I don't think that's good for the Spurs. Like, I don't think it's good for Wemby. I don't want to say I just kind of expected more from him. I thought not more from his game. I thought he was a little bit more I don't want to say smarter, but I guess like essentially basketball wise, I thought he had a bigger basketball IQ. Just in terms of shot selection, I understand his team's not great, and so maybe he feels the burden of taking shots he maybe shouldn't take. But I don't know. I if I were Pop, I would have a long time ago said, I'm not going to coach you if this is how it's going to be, because this is not productive. Like, he was terrible yesterday.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Okay, and you know how I feel, and we got more on Sabonis coming up here. That was the Sabonis effect. He did not want to be.
He got one too many shoulders. Yeah,
shoulder. He got one too many of those shoulders, and there was just too much beef in the kitchen.
Yeah,
Wemby was trying to be vegan or whatever it is, and there was just too much beef in the kitchen. There was too much heat, and he could not handle Sabonis. Okay, they're the fox and the ox. Wemby's an alien. Well, this time the Earth won because he wasn't ready. He was not ready, and I think that, I don't want to say scared him, but that kept him from wanting to get, because he couldn't do anything down there.
He didn't do a single thing.
He couldn't do. I'm thinking, okay, and right now they're trying to figure out what he's going to be, but I didn't see any legit post moves. I didn't
not
see
a
anything.
Single one.
I know we talked about Devin Vassell. You know who impressed me the most last night?
Who's that?
And I know that the Kings, they do need, I'm looking at his contract now because the Kings do need a backup point guard. Give me Trey Jones.
Give me Trey Jones.
Give me Trey Jones today, tomorrow, yesterday, and beyond.
He's the only man who understands the assignment there.
He's 24 years old. Yeah. Okay, he's on a 2-year deal. He's a free. They got it. The Spurs got him for another year. He's making $9 million. If Malik goes, or if they want more of a playmaker type guy that can score, because Trey Jones really scoring is secondary to him, give me Trey Jones.
Yeah, I like Trey Jones a lot. I like Tyus Jones too, but right now, Tyus is kind of locked into Washington, and he's trying to start there. I think Trey Jones would be perfect. He is like a true playmaking backup point guard. I know he's starting in San Antonio. San Antonio obviously is the worst team in the West. Yeah, it's also recent because they, as you know, they were trying to start our boy Jeremy Sohan, the one-handed wonder.
He cracks me up, bro. He might be Jordan Poole's cousin.
I was like, he's not like a serious NBA player. Like we were watching him for like an entire like stint of time, and we were like, what is he? What position does he play? What is his
future? Hilarious.
He's not that big either. He's like 6'7", 6'8".
But he's a good athlete.
Yeah, he's a great athlete, but just not much. I don't want to say not much skill, because he is skilled, but it's just I don't know where he's going to fit into, like what his role is going to be on like an actual good team. The one-handed free throws is crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, Trey Jones is great. I think he would be perfect. Again, I said he's the only one on that team that understands the assignment. The assignment is get Wemby the ball in the best positions.
Yes.
He had 9 assists yesterday. He's really the only person they have that they trust with the ball in their hand. And I think the Kings could use a guy, if it's not Trey Jones, a guy like Trey Jones desperately. Because I think Davion's defense was great yesterday, but we're still seeing offensively it's just not really bringing it.
Yesterday?
Who's that, Davion?
Yeah. No, he did. And it was a bad
took
brick.
one, and it was a really, really bad.
It was
brick.
a bad brick. I'm just trying to figure out, do we know Tyus and Trey? I don't know if they got any other siblings, but mom, pops.
Be a third one, maybe?
Well, I was going to say mom, pops, did they hoop? I mean, they just made two prime point guards.
Duke point guards?
Yeah,
That's
I mean, pops or mom must have been a point guard or something. When we get back and continuing the conversation, 925 says, Kings should enjoy it now because 3 years from now, Wemby will be dropping a 50 burger.
Oh, you better believe it.
I also don't think that's just a Kings thing. That might be everyone. So the Kings are trying to enjoy it.
We might need to
right
enjoy
now.
Basketball while we can.
Yes, exactly. Because they're gonna match him up with somebody else. It might even be Trey.
It might be Trey Young.
Well, Trey Young or I think they probably want someone who can do more offensively than Trey Jones. But he's always, those are the types of guys, they will always be on a roster. And hopefully one of them makes their way to the Kings at some point in time. When we get back and continuing the conversation, Sabonis, is his comp Brock Purdy? How? Why? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender. In the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento. It's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Honeylicious taste, so a cold won't slow you down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now, I took the half-hour drive to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and I came home with the finest car I've ever owned. I'm rocking that brand new EQS SUV they outfitted me with, and it's stylish and so comfortable. I love Mercedes cars. Also, Mercedes builds amazing commercial vehicles. Now, if you own a business, Mercedes builds commercial vans capable of any job. And with special interest rates as low as 4.9% on new Sprinter vans, plus the available tax breaks on Sprinter vans for commercial use, choosing a Mercedes van is a smart move. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has a huge full-service commercial fleet center. Go see my good friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Just a half-hour drive down I-5 from SAC, and it's online all the time at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-647-0499. 800-647-0499. That's 800-647-0499.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the newly designed Callaway Chrome Tour line of golf balls, offering outstanding tour performance. From cover to core, Chrome Tour is the new gold standard tour ball for players who want the best in distance and feel. Chrome Tour is engineered for outstanding performance with exceptional speed, consistent flight, incredible spin, and greenside control. Ask about the full line of Callaway Chrome Tour golf balls at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at
Elk Grove Kia.
Murray, top of the circle, now drives left side of the paint. Goes strong! It flushes it home. Two-hand grip for Keegan Murray to make it 111-107.
From the 916, this is Nick Wemby out here looking like a giraffe on stilts. I'm giving him 3 years before I can speak on his game. Until then, meh. I don't think it's going to take 3.
It's already happened. I hate to break it to you, bud. He's already averaging 20 and 10. Like it's happening right now.
He did not have a great night last night, but it still wasn't bad.
Yes,
the Spurs are just a mess.
Not only was it not bad, he had 5 steals, 5 blocks.
Yeah.
So in a bad game offensively, he still had one of the best defensive performances of the season.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes him so great. Is even his bad games, he's still impacting the game like crazy.
There was one play where he got a rebound, and it honestly looked like he went Stretch Armstrong, and there was a block and
he
a
got
rebound.
Sabonis one time on a block.
Yeah, I think it was an offensive rebound, and he came out of nowhere. Yeah, the steals were crazy. I think, and De'Aaron said you just can't prepare for that type of length. That's what he said in the postgame, because it's just you're not used to it, and you think you have more room than you have to make a move or do something, and then all of a sudden he's on you. He's on you. But like we said, there's one thing to have that length, but it's another thing to be in the gym, okay, and to deadlift, okay, and to clean, and to be the guy that gets after it. And that was Domantas Sabonis last night. When you talk about, as Draper always says, caving his chest in, that's what Domantas Sabonis was doing.
Can I jump in on that?
night.
What with Wemby, you're talking about length, all that stuff. That makes Sabonis's play, the Eurostep play that he did, even more impressive.
That was crazy.
I don't know if you guys saw, but they posted that on the NBA Instagram.
Yeah.
Never happens. Read the comments on that.
Right.
It's very funny, the comments on that video. But Sabonis left him, and then you look at Wemby, he's just sitting there with his arm up, just lost.
Yeah.
So amazing.
I think he was attempting to take a charge. I don't really know what he was trying to do.
I think he honestly didn't think Sabonis had that in his bag.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I think he thought, I'm sure he thought he was going to take a charge, and he was like, oh, this dude's just going to run into me because he's a bull. And Sabonis just left him.
Yeah.
He completely left him. And it looks really bad when a dude who's 7'5" is just standing there with his hands up.
It looked like he glitched.
Yeah.
Because he already looks like a video game. It looked like he glitched. Like, controller 2, player 2 has been deactivated, and you lost Wi-Fi, and the Bluetooth went out, something like that.
Well, he looks like a creative character too.
Right. I literally looked like I was watching, during, and he was the one who announced it with Adam Silver, NBA AI. It looked like I was watching NBA AI, the movie version, and it glitched, and I was going to have to complain to whoever my provider is, and that's all due to sick Domas still being sick. Here's some of the numbers, Chris. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. Still finds a way to get the triple-double. And I got more numbers from Frankie Cardicelli.
Never heard of him.
He is 15th right now for most points, rebounds, assists, those specific triple-doubles during a single season in NBA history. He is 15th. He is tied, actually, for 15th with the much better version of him in everyone's eyes, Jokic. They are both tied, and that was in 2021, 2022. And off the top of my head, that's when Jokic won MVP.
Yes, it is.
Because that's when he was playing with the Plumbers and they lost to the Warriors. So that was 2022. No offense to whoever was on that team.
No offense at all.
Was Uncle Jeff on that team? Uncle Jeff was definitely on that team, Jeff Green.
I don't remember how long he was in Denver, but he definitely might have been.
So that was Jokic's MVP season, and Sabonis is at 19 right now.
Yeah.
Right now with 27 games left. Russell Westbrook is at the top of that list with 42 points, rebounds, assists, triple doubles. That was in 2017. And I'm willing to bet that's the year that Russell Westbrook won that's when he averaged it. So that's when he won the MVP too. Yes. Weird.
Yeah. Not an all-star though, Sabonis.
Weird.
Not even close.
That is really, really weird.
Strange for sure.
More numbers for you. This is from Frankie as well. Frankie just doing double duty. No thanks, or all thanks to Brendan. Brendan, why don't you be built different? Like Sabonis. You got Frankie putting up Sabonis numbers.
Dude, Frankie put up a triple-double last night.
Frankie put up a triple. No, we'll talk about the quintuple double. That's what Frankie's putting up. We got that action for you as well as a high schooler really got to work. So Domantas Sabonis, NBA ranks triple doubles. He's first. Double doubles. He's first. Rebounds per game, he's first at 13.2. Rebounds total, he's first with 726. Win shares, he's fourth at 8.6. Assists, he's fourth, 461. Assists per game, he's fifth at 8.4. Field goal percentage, he's eighth at 62%. He's averaging 20.2, 13.2 rebounds, and 8.4 assists.
It's just nuts. Like, I mean, it's just crazy that he's doing it every single night. And this has now been like 38 straight double doubles. It's insane. Like I know we're going to have the conversation later of who he kind of reminds us of as a counter example. But he's just so underrated. Or I don't know if I guess underrated is the right word, but it just feels like in general too, there needs to be more conversation about him. Like, I know here in Sacramento we have a ton, but the things he's doing and the highlights now that he's providing, like, how is this guy just not being talked about more in general across NBA circles?
Yeah, and Mason Jones, I know we spoke about him, and he was still doing his thing. The Kings are starting to get a bench mob.
Come on.
Sabonis
it's a real thing.
Was yamming and looking at the bench.
Yep.
It felt nice last night. It felt like the Kings were starting to get a little bit of swagger to them and start
feel
to
themselves a
little bit. Now you got to feel yourself and not blow leads, right? And take care of business. But it felt last night.
Some confidence, man.
We know Malik Monk, he does an East Bay dunk. For those who don't know, East Bay dunk, that's between the legs to end the game after the game was over.
Ridiculous.
They're starting to, we got to get that sound there. I think I swagger back. I think that is what the Kings got going on. Now let's get to Jamie right now and see what he has to say about Wemby and the Kings.
Yeah, you guys got me?
We got you.
Thanks for having me. So I'm listening to you guys talking. It sounds like you guys weren't very impressed with Wemby, and one of you guys even commented, it's going to give me 3 years, then I'll give you my opinion on him.
No, sorry, that was we were reading a text. That was a text. That wasn't us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he might not have had a great game, but he still had a good game, and the kid is going to be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just okay. So obviously the text threw me off, and that's why I was calling. Like, what are you talking about?
No. Yeah, no. Wemby,
that's what I was saying.
No. Thanks for the call, Jamie. Yeah, that was from a 916. I believe it was Nick. Yeah, we saw what Wemby could do, and even in a game where it didn't look outstanding offensively, and there were some questionable shots.
Yeah.
Defensively, Chris said those steals, that's something that you normally see from smaller guards.
Yes.
De'Aaron Fox,
right.
Steph Curry, Trae Young, those types of guys, they rack up steals, not guys like Victor Wembanyama.
He's a rookie.
So even when he's off, he's so good.
He just eats up space.
He's only going to have quote unquote bad games in one area. He's not the type of guy who's just going to have an absolute stinker, because the way that the NBA is moving and where it's moving to, it's these dynamic players that can just kind of do it all. We talk about, the ability to do different things and Swiss Army knives. That's what Wemby is. I think, honestly, jack of all trades, master of none. That's his issue right now. And I believe someone, was it Tim Duncan, another great big, was saying he's got to decide. He doesn't have to decide, but he's got to decide. Maybe it was Kevin Garnett, when he wants to be what, right? Kevin Durant, a little bit smaller than Wemby, which is insane, but Kevin Durant, he understood pretty early, okay, now I'm gonna be guard Kevin Durant. Now I'm going to be big Kevin Durant and do different things. Wemby doesn't know when he wants to be what yet, and
he just wants to be at all
times. Yep. And you have to pick your spots. Yeah. And Wemby doesn't know how to do that yet.
Feels like he's playing 2K. Wemby almost plays like he's playing a My Career.
Right.
And it's like, no, dude, like even Wemby has to your point, like you almost kind of have to fill roles, but you have to pick and choose when you're going to be those things.
Yeah. So it's really great to watch for now when it's not, they're at the bottom of the standings, but in a couple years, to that point, to the Texers' point, in a couple of years, it's going to be different because that team is going to be better. You can't have, what would we say, Popovich is 76. You can't have a 76-year-old coach and waste time.
Can I throw one crazy Wemby number I just saw in here? Winder, I just mixed his name into one. Wemby has played 50 games this year, has 161 assists. He has 161 blocks. He's averaging 3.2 blocks per game.
That just doesn't.
It's just
normally
insane
happen.
that he has as many blocks as he does assists. And it's not like he doesn't have any assists.
I wonder if that will go down in the coming years because people won't try it.
Yeah, they might
Maybe
just
people
not give
don't
him the chance.
understand how long he is until you get down
In
there
front of him,
in the
yeah.
paint. Oh, I thought I could get this shot off, and you're just not able to do so. Coming up next, Domantas Sabonis and Brock Purdy. What do they have in common? More than you think. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
It was 1879 when the first President's Day was established, and it's been a holiday ever since. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'm guessing when the Keys family opened the first Naturewood Home Furnishing store in 1948, a President's Day sale was not top of the mind. But the family probably celebrated the holiday with a picnic and a big slice of cherry pie. The store name Naturewood was selected to reflect the quality of the wood furniture for sale. And that focus on quality continues today with brands like Flex Steel, Trailway, Stickley, Fusion Designs, Stanton, and many, many more. The Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale is the perfect time for you to find the right accent piece for your living room, a new bed for your bedroom, or to completely refurnish your entire home. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's President's Day sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
It off to De'Aaron. Steps to his left. Wembanyama there. Feeds it inside to Sabonis. Great assist pass. That was just terrific. Great find from Fox and Sabonis for the first 2 points of the ball game. Nice way to start on the offensive end with crisp execution by the Kings.
Let's think about this for a second. You have two guys putting up historic numbers, and everyone else is trying to find a reason to either not believe those numbers or say that those numbers aren't as impressive due to situation, due to the league, due to competition, whatever it is. And those two guys are Domantas Sabonis and Brock Purdy. And I think there is a direct connection and correlation between the two. For whatever reason, for different reasons, right? In general, you have Brock Purdy, last pick in the draft, and there is that line of, well, he's not supposed to be elite. He's got these guys around him. And you have Domas, who I guess doesn't have the highlight plays. Both of them athletically, they don't blow you out of the water. And people just don't think it makes a lot of sense. When Russell Westbrook was putting up all these triple doubles, it made sense. Russ was doing his thing. He's jumping out of the gym, grabbing rebounds, right? When he was doing that, it made sense. When Mahomes was breaking those records and doing different things with Tyreek and the crew, it made sense. He's Mahomes. He's a magician. He looks the part. You have two guys that don't really look the part. And I think that because of that, people aren't giving them their just due. I think Brock Purdy eventually got there. He's still dealing with it. People still say he got carried or whatever it is. They're incorrect. But he got to a Super Bowl, right? So it's gotten a little quieter, and we saw and we heard a lot of that once we got to the Super Bowl. Everybody was saying, he's underrated, he's underrated. Sabonis hasn't got there yet, and maybe it's because of the postseason and the lack of success there, but I really hope he does, because people are really missing what this guy is doing, and it's been beautiful to watch.
Yeah, no, and another connection between the two is I would say a lot of people just say flat out your team can't win because he is such an important part of your team. Like, of course, Brock Purdy, that was directly said about him is that, Steven Ruiz famously, there's no way Brock Purdy is going to win the Super Bowl. If the Niners win with Brock Purdy, I will stop covering the sport.
And
then Sabonis has,
around.
and then you got guys like Kevin O'Connor who are like, the Kings cannot win because if you have Domantas Sabonis as your center, you're never going to have enough rim protection. And, he's not a good enough, he can't shoot well enough to justify how often he has the ball in his hands and all that stuff. And, maybe even parts of that is true, but I think it's the definitive nature in which they're talked about that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why does it feel like, okay, Brock Purdy can't win a Super Bowl, but a guy like Jalen Hurts can? And why can Domantas Sabonis not win a championship, but then everybody's gushing about Alperen Şengün? And it's like, why? I don't understand how one can get tons of praise and feel like, oh, this is just the beginning and he's got tons of room and oh my gosh, what is he going to be years down the line? And then you have these two guys who they are what they are. They're never going to be better. And as a matter of fact, they might look good, but actually them looking so good is in the long run bad for your team because you're going to rely on them so much. It's interesting. I think it probably has something to do. Let's not JJ Redick it, but I think it might have something to do with how the sports media landscape is laid out a bit. But it is kind of crazy how those two, there's a lot of correlations between the two for sure.
Yeah, and I think the main difference would be, I wouldn't say that nobody would say that Sabonis is getting carried. I think the difference is just that people think it's the whole empty calories thing throughout the regular season. You have somebody that can I guess take advantage of situations, and it's harder to do that in the playoffs. So hopefully Sabonis can dead those narratives in this postseason and kind of get back on not really the right track, but just get in the national landscape. Yeah. Speaking of, by the way, the national landscape, I gotta say this.
JJ.
No, I gotta say this right now. Malik Monk, you are a budding star in this league. We know your story, how you were at Kentucky, highly touted coming out of Kentucky, had a rough go. I mean, even got memed at one point with the whole Michael Jordan slap in the back of the head thing. Made your way out of the gutter, right, from the Lakers, and now you are back to getting the prominence with the Kings, and you're about to get it back. If Malik Monk does stay in Sacramento, we talk about getting Sacramento some more cachet in the national media. He's got to do the dunk contest, just on principle. I think if you really love Sacramento, Malik Monk, as we know you do, you wore the jacket with all the patches on it.
Yeah,
got Land Park, got Natomas.
Yep.
Where else, Chris? Where am I missing?
There's a Roseville on there.
Roseville. Is there Folsom on there?
I think there's an Elk Grove. There's got to be a Folsom on there.
Folsom's on there.
That jacket.
And you look good in the jacket, Malik. You look good in the jacket. But if you really want to hold it down for Sacramento, if you remain a King going into next season, you got to do the dunk contest.
It's in the Bay too, right?
And it's in the Bay. Malik, you don't even got to get on a plane.
Yep, you ain't got to. You can come home immediately after.
There you go. Malik, let's talk. I got some Bay Area golf courses for you.
There you go.
We'll both do them. We'll hook up some things so you can be ready for the Tahoe, golf competition. We got all that for you. Just do the dunk contest. You have to.
Yeah, that East Bay yesterday was crazy. And the Bay is not Indiana. So I could see Malik, being a little bit more receptive. It's close. I could see it. I really think I could. And especially if he signs back here in Sacramento, it would be great, kind of have the Kings have a representative in that. I guess Ben McLemore was the last King to represent in the dunk contest, and he did okay, but I think Malik has especially if you're looking at the dunks that we saw this year, he would have a legitimate shot to do it. It's like do a couple. If he does two between the legs, to me that's winning the competition.
Because as we talked about, it's about the ferocity in the dunks, and that man dunks with bad intention.
Yes.
bad intentions.
Spikes it.
I think it would be great, yes, from Lam Chung Tin. Yes, the celebrity golf tournament in Tahoe. That's what Malik says he's working towards as he golfed over the All-Star break. I mean, I think it would be Malik. You get Malik in there, Kuminga in the Bay, the battle of the Warriors and Kings in the Bay. Give me that.
Alan Stiles.
Give me that.
Put this man in the
I got my swagger back.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. Give me that. Inject that
actually crazy.
into my veins.
Get Keegan and Clay.
Keegan and Clay doing the 3-point contest if you want to double it up.
De'Aaron and
Steph
Pods
Keegan.
in the skills competition,
Right.
No,
No.
the future of the NorCal basketball.
De'Aaron keeps shooting threes like this.
That's right.
They put hot shooters in the 3-point
They do.
contest.
Yeah.
You could have De'Aaron and Keegan versus Steph and Clay.
Yeah, I wouldn't back our horses in that one. But
Malik and Kuminga. We're back to Malik and Kuminga.
There we go. Yeah,
Make it happen.
I would love it. Yeah, that's actually a fantastic idea. Like I think it wouldn't surprise me too. I mean, we know Vivek has ties with the Warriors. We know just in general this organization has a lot of feelings towards the Warriors. Wouldn't surprise me if it would be a nice little marketing move and a nice little jab if you say how crazy or how great would it be if we from Sacramento take over y'all All-Star game.
I like that.
I like it a lot.
Vivek, I know you're listening.
I like it a lot. I got a smile on my face.
I know you're listening. The Beam takes over Chase Center.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Should we bring a portable beam
They start chanting,
to light outside Chase, or should we just light it in Sac?
They start chanting "Light the beam" in Chase as Malik does a dunk to win the whole thing.
What movies are made of.
A 360 East Bay to win it.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
I would
love it. I would absolutely love it. And then Malik does the light the beam thing that Steph did in Game 7. Oh my gosh. Inject that into my veins.
That's what you need. That's what you need. And as Malik had it going last night, he was one of 5 King players to be in double figures and one of 4 King players to score over 20 points. They stuffed the stat sheet, Chris, which of course they did against a team like the Spurs, but does it make you, I know you said a win is a win. Does it make you worried at all that you can have that much balanced scoring and not pull away from a bad team?
No, I'm going to say a win's a win.
You're sticking to it.
I'm sticking to it. I'm
that.
going to stick to it. I think a win's a win. The thing is, I could complain about it being a close, but at the end of the day, it's the first game outside the break. Everybody's going to be a little bit rusty. I think the fact that they took care of what they needed to take care of is what's important. When we look back at this game a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, we're just going to say, hey, they won this game, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter. It was close. It doesn't matter how it got done. And that's really the approach that they should take this entire stretch here. Like, it shouldn't matter if, they beat the Clippers and beat the T-Wolves, but they shoot 32% from 3. Like, as long as you're beating those teams, I think it's a positive. I would just spin it and say again, like I said, after they won that Denver game, it's a showing your team that there's more than one way of winning and that you're capable of, on a night where your shots don't go in, you shouldn't give up. You should continue to fight because you'll find a way. You've found a way in the past and you'll find a way in this game. And, sometimes it's not always going to look pretty. Shots aren't always going to fall, but that's not going to be an excuse. Every team goes through that, and really good or great playoff teams, they find multiple different ways to win and have multiple different contributors. So, I know Trey Lyles didn't have it last night, but it's going to be his night one night. Yeah. Chris Duarte had himself some good minutes. It's going to be on him some nights. So I don't really have a problem with how they got it done. And I'd frankly like to see it get done in a ton of different ways. I'd love there to be a couple different moments for some different guys down the stretch here.
Why was it such a close game? We discussed the Spurs anomaly as, again, they shoot way better against the Kings as they typically shoot from 3-point land. Also, Boogie is moving on from the NBA. Any Boogie memories? Call in Folsom Lake Honda Hotline 916-339-1140. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Plati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
To Murray, to Fox, to Sabonis. Straddles a three-point arc with a left-hand dribble, drops it off to De'Aaron. Steps to his left, Wembanyama there. Feeds it inside to Sabonis. Great assist pass. That was just terrific. Great find from Fox and Sabonis with the first 2 points of the ball game. Nice way to start on the offensive end with crisp execution by the Kings.
I know I've had my time there. You know, there was a point where I was trying to make that happen. But the place I'm in my life now, just with everything I've got going on, just outside of basketball, like I'm in a good place. So like I said, I'm excited for what I have ahead and my future. You know, my 12 years in the league were a small chapter or chapters in my life, and I'm ready to move on to the next and see what's in store for me. That is one, Boogie Cousins.
I mean, that's you know, it's good to hear. I think DeMarcus has been trying really hard to get back into the NBA. I think even, you know, I think it was him who publicized that he had a conversation with Bob Myers that essentially was, it's not your play that's keeping you out of the NBA, buddy. It's the attitude and the things that come along with having DeMarcus Cousins on your team. And, you know, I know he's just kind of struggled with that his entire career, but it's probably good. Because, you know, then you run into guys like Isaiah Thomas, who we all love, but, you know, you end up just never really giving up on the dream and really always trying to push for it at every single opening. And it's got to be disheartening. I just think at some point it's good to come to a self-realization and say, you know, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and you know,
it's not running away from the grind.
No, I wouldn't call it that. Even though I do love to call people out.
I do too.
He's 33 years old.
Yeah,
he did what the Achilles was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
Something like that. He's 33 years old, and a coach of mine. He played for the Expos and I think a couple other teams. Coach of mine once told me, and this is from a different standpoint as far as playing, but a coach told me that once people. It's basically first impression thing, right? But even deeper than that, once people have an idea about you, it's really, really, really hard to change it. And there is an idea about Boogie Cousins. He is not the same person he was when he was in Sacramento. I'm sure he's grown.
I would hope so.
We see him all over these podcasts and things like that. And he's 33 years old now, but some people can power through it. Some people have different situations that help them power through it, a la Draymond Green. Boogie did not have that situation. And unfortunately, as much as he may have changed or want to change or whatever the case is, I think this is a completely different conversation if there's no Achilles. I just think it's a completely different conversation.
Right.
When you throw in that Achilles and he's a big dude on top of, we got to deal with the booginess of it all. There's just too much talent out there.
Yeah.
There's just too much talent out there. I mean, I would go as far as to say some people would entertain Dwight Howard before Boogie Cousins.
There was rumors that Dwight was. They were rumors, but rumors that Dwight was trying to enter the league and that he wanted to, or he was willing to join the Kings and things like that. I think you're completely right. It's like I use the example of Tim Tebow and you could say maybe Colin Kaepernick in the same realm of these guys they might be good enough to have as your backup, but the problem is, like you said, the distraction Cam, absolutely. Cam Newton definitely fits into this, where it's too much noise. You don't want, the first time your center struggles, media is going to ask, well, you have this all-star sitting over here that's begging for a second shot, and every time we see him, he looks pretty good. Why don't you give him a chance? And, you have to, explain well, this guy's, if we throw him in the starting lineup, he then kind of has a self-entitlement then, and things, it just kind of snowballs and things like that. And so it's sad. It's kind of a bit by his own doing, but I think what your coach told you is completely right. Like, I think that's exactly what this is. I think there's a narrative that is out there about DeMarcus Cousins. And like you said, even if he has changed, even if he's in the process of changing it, I just think it's too hard to change everybody else's mind on who he is. And, it's unfortunate. And this isn't just a give him a second chance thing. This is probably, honestly, he had tons of chance. I can't even count the amount of chances he had here in Sacramento, but this is probably like his third or fourth chance just in terms of organization too. So I'm glad that he's the one calling it quits at this point. Not that the NBA was calling him or anything, but I think it's good that he has understood that it's just not going to happen for him.
What is a bit weird to me is we're talking about the whole narrative thing, and I'm sure that's a big part of it. But he was in Denver, and he
was in Denver and Milwaukee, and he played pretty well.
He was with Denver. That was when he was with the Plumbers and Jokic. I'm pretty sure he was backing up Jokic. So what happened after that? At that point,
he was playing really well.
At that point, you could make the argument. Yeah, I don't remember anything coming out.
Yeah.
So at that point, the question is, did something happen, or did the play start to decline? I don't know. I just know I remember him playing.
Yeah.
And then he was done.
Yeah, he was in Milwaukee. He was on a 10-day, because that was also the thing. Like you said, maybe he just wasn't in the right structure. Maybe he just needed to be in a winning situation. He was in 2 winning situations. He played well for the Bucks. The Bucks ended up cutting him. I think that was more of just they have Brook Lopez and Portis and Giannis. They just had too much size, and I think one of their guys was down at that point. Denver's a really interesting one, because that's where he was the backup. There was never going to be any questions about him starting with Jokic there. He had Mike Malone, who was his favorite coach here in Sacramento and the coach that he's probably gotten along with the most. But I think it's telling, and I haven't heard specifics or anything really, but I would guess that something happened behind the scenes there, because essentially, if you look at it, what ended up happening last year is they picked DeAndre Jordan, who can barely get up off the bench, and they'd much rather have him as their backup than DeMarcus. And then again, maybe you could argue that that's because, much like what we talk about with Sabonis, Jokic's backup is playing 8 minutes a game. So do you really need to invest that much into your backup center? Maybe it was that, but I tend to believe that it had to do something more with his attitude, and you would much rather just use that spot for a good veteran leader than, again, a guy who might be upset with his role, might feel like he can do more, and, frankly, might also cause some headaches too.
How will Boogie be remembered for you?
For me?
Yeah, in his time in Sacramento.
As probably the most divisive player that has ever came through this organization, but at the same time, maybe behind Chris Webber, the most talented player that has ever stepped foot in Sacramento. And, there's some moments where, because me personally, I wasn't in media. I didn't, I heard from afar about things that had happened inside the locker room or in planes or outside in the public. But, my perspective of it from a fan was, I hear all that. I definitely understand it. I don't necessarily co-sign it, but with where we're at as a franchise, we can't be kicking guys like this out the door. I understand, he would get mad at his teammates, and me as a fan, I would say, I understand that, because if I'm out here putting 35 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, now I'm shooting threes, and then I'm kicking it out to a wide open Ben McLemore because I'm triple teamed, and he's thudding it off the rim, and then you bring in Nick Stauskas the next year, and you bring in X, Y, Z player year after year after year, and it stops working. I was just like, I get it. I would be upset too, but I think eventually it got to a point where it just kind of became one too many things, and like I said, he's the most divisive player I've ever seen come through here. I think the overall memory of DeMarcus is going to be, you probably have half of your friends love him and half of your friends cannot stand him, and he probably lost some Kings fans there. Like there was a lot of people, now I don't know if they were just crying wolf, but there was a lot of people who said, I will not support a team that has this guy out there. So I truly think I've never seen a player split a fan base like DeMarcus did.
Barring any legal stuff, right? That happens outside of the court. Is he the most, and you can only speak for Boogie and what he meant for the Kings, but I'm just trying to think of other players as far as who is more divisive, and the obvious comp would be Draymond. Yeah. But I think that you would talk to most Warrior fans.
They love him.
Most of them do love him. Yeah. It's just
how much is that
Draymond, how much of that is I think that's a great point.
Yeah. Because that was always the thing we said here.
If the Warriors stunk, but Draymond and Draymond,
the least Draymond got,
and he is directly connected to Steph, right? If Boogie had a Steph, I'm not saying championships, but just somebody that he was connected to where you sort of don't get full blown Steph without Draymond. If there was that person for Boogie, would Boogie be viewed the same way? And to your point, I mean, you got Kansas, great, sure, but you got guys that just couldn't cut the mustard. So, I guess we'll never know. Everybody is going to remember Boogie in different ways, but we do wish him the best in all of his future endeavors. Like I said, he's been on a bunch of podcasts, was in a picture with Vivek during All-Star
Brad
Weekend.
Miller.
Yes, and Boogie will be fine. I think he has a very he's
doing stuff with Up the Smoke.
He's done all this. I see him on my feed all the time. He
has a Rachel Nichols pod.
I think he is charismatic in a unique way.
Yes,
I think that we normally see certain guys, and we are now in the age where no filter is cool. And Boogie was just a little bit ahead of his time, and he had no filter because it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous.
So good.
Now we're getting to that point to where people want to hear that side, and I'm sure Boogie is going to tell his side of the story. You have one side and the other side somewhere in the middle.
Really
is the
hasn't
truth.
talked about Sacramento that much, to be honest.
I'm sure it'll come up.
It'll come out,
and I'm sure it'll pop. Whenever it does, because
pop.
it was what a time to be alive. When we get back, we discuss the anomaly of the 3-point shooting with the Kings against the Kings continues. There are hitters' ballparks. Maybe Golden One is just a shooter's arena. Can we go with that? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over. And if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Get your retirement savings to play ball with your retirement plan. Call Cap Trust today at 916-924-7527 or log on to captrust.com.
Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and our thrilling high limit room. Plus, with Sky River rewards that add up and up, and 17 bars and restaurants to experience. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Fidium Fiber Internet has put together a heck of a lineup. It's 100% fiber internet. You get a dedicated connection and lightning fast upload and download speeds up to 2 gigs. Plans start at just $25 a month, so everyone can join in the action.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's old loan report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Murray to Fox to Sabonis. Straddles the three-point arc with a left-hand dribble, drops it off to De'Aaron. Steps to his left, Wembanyama there. Feeds it inside to Sabonis. Great assist pass. That was just terrific. Great find from Fox and Sabonis with the first 2 points of the ball game. Nice way to start on the offensive end with crisp execution by the Kings.
The Spurs normally shoot 33% from three. Let's see, Chris, you probably know what the number is already. So let's go to Nate. Nate, why don't you guess what the Spurs shot from three-point range last night? They normally shoot 33%.
Okay, so I was working the game last night. I think in the third quarter, G-Man said they're shooting about 40%. No, halftime. I think Jason said they were shooting about 40. But I saw Wemby miss some threes in the second half. So through detective work, I'm going to say high 30, like 38 and a half.
They shot 44% last night.
I'm going to go quarter by quarter, as a matter of fact.
Please do.
At the end of the first quarter, they were 4 of 6, shot 66.7%.
Was that Vassell?
That was 2 of 2 from Vassell, 2 of 2 from our guy Julian Champagny, who I thought was going to have another masterclass at Golden One.
That's a great last name, by the way.
It's pretty great.
Is he a king killer now?
He's officially, well, no, he didn't end up having a great night, but it was on track to. He only finished with 10. But anyways, yeah, at halftime, so first quarter 66%. Halftime, Nate just mentioned they were shooting 50% at halftime.
50. Okay, so I would.
End of the third quarter, they were shooting 40, and then at the end of the game, 44.
Oh.
So they were just knocking it down all game. It's not like they got hot at any particular time or anything like that. They were, I guess you could say they got cold in the third quarter, but besides that, they they were knocking down threes like it was nothing.
Look, just hear me out here, right? Todd Helton, these Rockies, and it's hard for them to get into the Hall of Fame because their numbers are boosted. Okay, the Kings offensively very good themselves.
Yeah.
Coors Field, a hitter's ballpark.
Sure.
Maybe Golden One is just a shooter's arena.
Yeah.
There's something to it. Anthony Edwards has said that this is his favorite arena to shoot in. He said he likes the rims, I think, or it might have been the backboard. I know people have talked in the past about how, like, the depth perception of how the backboard looks to the seats in the back matters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because if it's like, I know like LA has like the spotlight shooting. And so I don't know
a lot of teams don't shoot well there.
It's like, I don't know if that's better or worse. So I guess it's worse. So I mean that, as crazy as it sounds, it really could be a thing that players just do like the rims or the backboards here at Golden One. And unfortunately it might just be something we have to deal with. And hopefully at some point it helps us.
How does that affect them? But they're always saying like, oh, the crowd doesn't matter, oh, the people in the crowd don't affect me, like when I'm shooting free throws and stuff.
Right.
But how does the depth perception of the seats and the backboard and the off color of the rim and all this stuff?
You just got to be a hooper.
I'm not a hooper, I guess. I'm no Kyle. I can't dunk.
You can't dunk, and neither can Kyle with the basketball.
No.
You got to be a hooper. I don't know. It's just crazy for me because you watched the game, Chris, and it didn't look like, it's never egregious. It has not been egregious to me, the Kings' 3-point defense. There are days where it looks egregious.
Yes.
There are days.
Yeah.
And we'll call them out on those days, but last night did not look egregious to me.
No, me either. Yesterday was not like one of those days. We've used, I guess, an excuse of maybe you're letting these guys get hot beforehand. That really wasn't, or get open looks even beforehand. I don't think that was the case.
Yeah.
I think our guy Devin Vassell just hit some really tough threes, and honestly, we need to be thanking Wemby again, because Wemby is really the only reason why their percentages was down so much. He was 1 of 6 from 3.
Would they have been at 50% or right at 50% if he didn't take those shots?
If you take 5 threes away, they would have been 11 of 20. So, they would have been over 50%.
Thank you, Wemby.
Yeah, thank you, Wemby. Appreciate it. Or I guess if you take Wemby completely out, they just would have been 10 of 20.
Right.
3, so
50%. That's insane.
Yeah. 10 of 19, so over 50%.
Wow.
Over 50% if you take out Wemby threes.
I don't know what to do with this. And
it's scary.
Those are two things that we wanted to pay attention to for the Kings going into the second or the last third of the season. And obviously, this is just the first game going into it, and they got a W, so we're not taking anything away from them at this point. A win is a win is a win, but it was the 3-point defense and the free throws.
Yeah.
And both of those things.
They didn't take many free throws, but
they
did
not take. Actually, I don't mind a game like that. There just weren't very many free throws
on either side,
either way.
Yeah.
So I'm
30
good with
total.
that.
Yeah.
But as far as how the Kings did from the free throw line, 71.4%. They were 10 for 14.
Yep.
You got to take it. It's not terrible.
Yeah, you could just point at individual. Like De'Aaron missed 2 in a row, didn't he? I think.
He did.
I think De'Aaron missed 2 in a row. HB missed 1, and I think Trey missed 1, and that's really it. I mean, it's more so just. I think I said it yesterday on the post game, but my problem with De'Aaron going 2 of 4 is more of the sense of, I mean, we talk about the merchants all the time, right? Like Shea's getting to the line 12 times, Giannis is getting to the line 12 times, and Embiid's getting to the line 12 times. Those dudes are hitting like 11 or 12, worst case like 10.
Yeah.
And if De'Aaron's missing 2 and he's only taking 4, it's
a good point.
It's just it's upsetting because he should ideally be one of those people who's getting 10 or 12 free throws in a game, but it's also frustrating because I don't know if he's going to knock them down, and you have to be able to knock those things down. And that's how De'Aaron, frankly, could have stayed up at 30 points per game if he could get to the line like those other guys do. Now, I know we say all the time we like that he plays with integrity, but at the same time, man, like it's an easy way to get points. It's the easiest way of getting points is getting to the line and knocking him down.
It's funny you say that about not being a foul merchant because De'Aaron is signed by Steph Curry. yesterday Steph Curry had some things to say because he had however many 32, whatever he had, and he only got to the line once or twice.
Yeah.
And if you talk to Warriors fans, they think he never gets to the line as far as the drives. I know that the threes are a little bit different. And Steph said last night, I've never complained about calls or been a foul baiter. And I wonder, did that go into Steph's thought process in signing De'Aaron? Hey, I like how De'Aaron plays. He doesn't whine. He doesn't flail his arms. He's not a foul merchant, anything like that, because you're right. I personally don't have a problem with De'Aaron not leaning into being a foul merchant. My problem is you're missing the threes, or you're missing the free throws.
Yeah.
There's no point of him foul baiting if he don't want to go to the line. He doesn't want to go to the line. And to your point, he missed 2 free throws. He's at 30 last night. He's literally at 30 if he makes those 2 free throws.
Yeah. It's that
simple.
It's literally as simple as that. And I just think at some point, I hate to keep saying it, but I just think it's going to come back and bite this team. I just think that their lack of attention at the free throw line, it's a killer. Because De'Aaron missed, it was 2 in a row as well, wasn't it? I don't think he split 2 different free throw attempts or 2 different trips to the line. I'm pretty sure it was just back. It was the good old fashioned crumble cookies free throw where he missed them both at the same time. And those things can be complete momentum killers. I would almost rather have it than he misses 1 in each trip, because, you who knows, sometimes you might only need 1 point. But the scary thing is if there's a possibility fourth quarter and some gotta have it free throws that he's just going to miss them both. Like that's really scary to have from the guy who's got the ball in his hands just about as much as anybody else on this team.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes up, and I'm sure Brendan Nunez, once he gets better,
of course,
and Frankie Cardicelli, when they get to practice, what happens, because we weren't really sure. Nobody's really sure what that free throw leaderboard means. So based on, if we think, is it practice? Is it the actual game? So based on if it is the actual game, you would have Keegan Murray was 2 for 2. Fox, like we said, 2 for 4. Barnes 1 for 2.
How about Sabonis not getting to the line at all? Night?
Malik Monk was 4 for 4. You love to see that.
Yeah.
Trey Lyles 1 for 2. So would Malik Monk be the is it made free throws or percentage?
We don't know. Yeah, if I had to guess, I would probably do percentage and then give a nod more so to like, hey, like Keegan might have a higher percentage, but like you said, he took 2, Malik took 4. Malik should be in first. And I think it's a really good way. I haven't really given it much thought, but that sounds like a way to motivate De'Aaron Fox, frankly, is who's not going to, what's pretty embarrassing is if you're the best player on the team and you're at the bottom of that list. That's the type of thing that I think sparks De'Aaron's competitive nature. And, something as simple as that could really be something that makes him, and he's not going to be a 95% free throw shooter, but just to kind of bring him up more so to where you feel like he should be at, hovering around 78%, somewhere near there, maybe raising it at this point to the season, going from 70 to 75, 74% would be huge for him. So I think it should work out. I like the logic of using these guys as competitive fire to kind of hold them accountable, and we'll see if it works. I think it probably will.
When we get back, we are taking a quick break from the Kings and getting back into it to discuss the Oakland, I'll say Oakland in little asterisks for now, Oakland A's and how bad they look. Not only have they turned off replies on basically every social media that is associated with them. Now the word on the street is that for Fans Fest that is coming up quickly here, even though the fans have raised over $40,000, not only did the A's not have their own Fans Fest, they are now threatening sponsors and getting them to pull out of Fans Fest. It's just despicable. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. And now, during the final days of our President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus 10% off all bases. Ends Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
All right, Uncle Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford Half-Ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at maidachevy.com. Together, let's try.
Finance for GM.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints of the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 6963.
He feeds it. No, he fakes it, fires it, and scores the three. I thought when he made the fake that he was surrendering to Sabonis, but instead he knocked down the triple. Kings regain the lead.
The A's are struggling. That's basically an evergreen statement at this point. And it's really sad, Chris Watkins, to see how this whole thing is going down. Fans Fest is tomorrow. And what we're seeing and what we're reading is that the fans, the A's fans, they raised money, right? Because the A's weren't doing a Fans Fest themselves. Not too long ago, the Giants did theirs. So the A's decided they weren't going to do a Fans Fest. Then on top of that, the fan created Fan Fest. They got sponsors. They raised over $40,000. Then all of a sudden, a sponsor dropped out, right? The sponsor was going to provide beverages, things like that. Sponsor drops money as well. Sponsor drops out. And people are seeing the crumbs here. And I don't know if it's officially official that that's what happened, but people are kind of reading between the lines that the A's, this is from a tweet, Coliseum Sewage. This is from that account. The A's really hate their fans so much. They not only refuse to hold a fan fest, they refuse to participate in a fest that fans donated over $40,000 to put on themselves. And now they're threatening event sponsors and trying to get them to pull out. That should be national news. Now, again, I don't know if there is a if they can if anybody's completely confirmed this, and feel free. There's so much information going on. Feel free to let us know if it's. I don't know how you confirm it. The A's are going to say, "Yeah, we told them.
Yeah, we definitely did that. That was us."
Yeah, we told them they would lose our sponsorship or our deal if they went ahead and did
you
that.
Could connect some dots.
And some of the comments that we were reading before the show, Chris, they are at war with their own fans. I've never seen anything like this.
I haven't either. And just to add a little bit more context to why the sponsor pulling out is especially inconvenient, I'll say, for these people throwing events. I mean, I've helped out with our station events a couple times, and I can tell you, I mean, we have a great staff of event staff that do fantastic jobs every single time we throw events, but there's a lot of like back end things that nobody, like something as simple as, so this beverage sponsor was a massive sponsor. Like they were a title sponsor. I'm pretty sure they were going to be, their logos would be thrown on just about all of the banners.
You've heard of them.
They now have to go and reprint every single banner that had that beverage company on there, and that costs money. They then just throw out those other banners. Those are now just completely useless. Like, this is it might seem like a small thing for them to do, even if it doesn't seem like a small thing. However big or small you think it is, it's even bigger than what you think it is in terms of the annoyance that it causes. And again, this thing is Fans Fest is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
So they have to get this turned around really, really quickly.
This story broke, was it Tuesday or
a couple days
maybe
ago,
even Wednesday? They did not give
a couple days.
They did not give people time, and this is from the 209. A's are denying they had any involvement, of course. Cool thing is that over 10 breweries stepped up to fill the void.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I believe the people who are throwing the event as well. And someone said, "Is it radical to speculate that the A's had something to do with this?" And they say, "No, it's not. They've already reached out to other sponsors of ours and requested they pull out." They said they won't comment on what sponsors specifically denied their request.
Last Dive Bar.
Yes, Last Dive Bar. Yes, that's what it is. Last Dive Bar, who is one of the groups, one of the big groups throwing this event. And helping pull it on. They're doing fantastic work, by the way.
Dave was rocking one of their shirts during one of the shows. I think that was last week, and that is tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Jack London Square, my old stomping ground. So if you are in the area or don't mind a little drive and you're an A's fan, go check it out and hang out with like-minded A's fans.
It's so cool that they're doing this too. I mean, I just think of like, this is exactly what I would have expected something from Sacramento Kings fans to do if the Kings would have done a similar thing during their relocation saga. It's just awesome. Like, it's a great sign to people who are paying attention that all the narrative out there, and even people, if you look at the comments, are like, why are these fans going against this team, like against the team, like all this stuff for people who don't get it. Like, it's a great sign to show, fans raised $40,000. All of these companies came together, and look at the turnout that I'm sure it's going to be insane. It's going to be all over all the news stations down there, I hope. We know our guy Casey Pratt for sure is going to be down there covering
Casey is
everything.
Doing outstanding work, by the way, on the whole situation.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I just hope that it gets the attention that it deserves, because frankly, it should be talked about. ESPN should be talking about this. MLB Network, I'm sure, isn't going to talk about it because that's linked with the owners, but they should be covering this. Every single person who covers baseball should have something about this event happening on their socials, because this is awesome. And this is not, I mean, especially from baseball, you just wouldn't expect this from a pretty muted crowd, right? Like, it feels like this is more of a tailgates are if you look at a Buffalo Bills tailgate, that's the type of people that you feel like normally follow football. Baseball, I just wouldn't expect this from a baseball team's fan base.
I'm going to say something, Chris, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way. And I don't think you will, because you fall in both categories.
Sure.
And this goes to one of the comments that we saw on this post or posts about the A's. And I would just say this: we don't police fandom on the show, and you can be a fan of whoever you want for whatever reason. But all I'll say is this: if you are a fan of a team where you don't live in the area, that's cool, right? That's fine. But you should not be speaking on whether they move or not, and how that should affect you, and trying to speak on how other fans that are in the area, how they should react to things.
Totally.
Because I know obviously you're a Kings fan, so it's just different between if Minnesota, if the Vikings move, I would say you shouldn't speak on how Minnesota fans feel about that. So to see A's fans and Raiders fans did the same thing, and we know the Raiders were in LA and they were in different places. So when Raiders fans say, well, what's the big deal? They're leaving Oakland and you're a Raiders fan wherever in the country, that is not your place to speak on that. It's not your place to speak on that. We saw he's an A's fan and a Knicks fan, and he has no context at all. I don't know if he's ever been in the Bay Area, just some random dude on social media saying, I don't get why A's fans are behaving this way. You're a fan of a team for a city that you don't live in. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just don't speak on that. Because it shouldn't matter to you. Because you're still going to be a fan either way.
It's not affecting your day-to-day.
It's not affecting your day-to-day. So that's all I'll say. You can be a fan of whoever. But you should. That is when it comes to the city and fans, or that's where they live. I don't think that you should speak on that stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's fair, because there's so many, it's just, again, it's the day-to-day stuff that you just don't understand. It's kind of like when we were having the conversation of on a way lesser note, on a way less serious note, like how Raider fans should feel about the Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl, right? It's like the people in the area just kind of understand that at a different level than what your Raider fans from LA might think. It's just a different level of understanding that you're not going to have unless you're in the area. You have family, you have friends, you have coworkers that you deal with this literally every single day.
Yeah, I don't know no Chiefs fans. No. I mean, they got Mahomes next year, too. What they're going to lose? Oh, I feel great they lose in the Super Bowl. I got to deal with my cousin Ronnie every single day if the Niners win. So, like we said, you can be a fan of anybody, but when it comes to city-specific stuff, you should not. You should not be speaking on that. Just sit this one out, because it doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect you. When we get back, continuing the conversation, also going to get back into some Kings talk, predicting the next 4 games, and they will be tough. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Oh no, your little one has caught a cold and has a cough. Help them feel better fast with DayQuil Kids from Vicks. It's specifically formulated just for kids, and it helps treat their most bothersome cold symptoms. It's also available in 2 delicious flavors, honey and berry. DayQuil Kids is the daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Pick it up at your local pharmacy or any major retailer today. For kids 6 and up, use as directed.
With NBA League Pass, you get so much game.
Even regular season games?
Yep.
Even some of the in-season tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Can I watch home and away team broadcasts?
Oh, yeah.
Can I watch from my phone while I take a long bath?
Sure.
And if my team wins, can I stand up super fast and splash water everywhere and scream, yes, that's right?
Hey, could we get a normal fan for this commercial? Subscribe at nba.com/League Pass today. Only select out-of-market games available and local blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit nba.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3-flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online. Earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Rebounded by Sacramento. Malik Monk's on the run. He weaves his way to the free throw line, throws for left wing. Watkins steps into the three, barely ripples the netting. Kings on top by 3 at 44-41. Chris Duarte knocking down his first shot attempt of the ball game. Here's Vassell giving it up, and a wing three attempt is blocked, and it goes out of bounds off San Antonio. Boy, that's a defensive gem from Malik Monk right there.
Chris Duarte was not shy last night, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. I think he knocked at least one down, right? And then the second one he took was in transition. And Chris was next to me. I was not happy about that. But you got to take them any way you can get them. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. And Sam wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Sam? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Hey, good morning, boys.
Morning.
Hey, I've always wondered, and I know the theory, but with the teams place one of their shooters down in the corner, and let's just say the Sacramento Kings guy, he goes out to guard him, and then he starts shooting towards the paint to see if he can help double team, which rarely works. They pass the ball back out to the corner, and at least 50 to 55% of the time, the guy knocks down the three.
Yeah.
I have never understood why they leave the guy alone to try and help in the paint, which they don't do a damn thing worth of good.
Yeah, that's a good call, Sam. Thank you. And the thing is, the corner three, we all know, is the shortest three on the court.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the one. And it was always funny whenever PJ Tucker would shoot it three in the corner. That's his shot right there.
Right.
That's everybody's shot. Yeah. It's the shortest three on the court. I get what Sam is saying, but you could get burned either way.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
just
still
kind of how you play defense.
It's still it's still a lower percentage to shoot that corner three than in the paint, and you can get fouled and things like that. So it's a pick your poison, but yeah, a lot of time the Kings do get poisoned.
Well, and that's why the Kings need length. I mean, we talk about it a bit on this show, but that's what makes teams with length so hard to play against, is the fact that you can do both. And the Kings just don't have any freaks of nature on their team in terms of like crazy wingspan. So the advantage of having a crazy wingspan, just like Sam laid out there, is that you can help cheat off into the paint, but your wingspan is long enough that you still have time to go out and recover and contest that 3-point shot. So, you know, we've been kind of wondering if that's the reason why the Kings 3-point numbers are so low, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but they just don't really have the physical capabilities to do it at a high level, I guess. But in terms of the very specifics of what you're talking about, for the most part, that is just what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to kind of cheat off, try and cut off the driving lane a bit and force them to kick. You just got to make sure you get out there. I mean, if you hear Mike Brown talk about the Kings offense a lot, his favorite word is spray threes. And that's exactly what Sam just explained, is that's exactly what the Kings want to do. The Kings want to get De'Aaron Fox downhill, get a guy to cheat over, and then De'Aaron will kick it out for a spray three. And that's just kind of how offenses are ran, and defenses are also told to help and cheat over.
Yeah, because again, it's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
My question is, when you look at the elite teams, and we can look at the defensive efficiency, and we know where the Kings fall. And honestly, you know, you look at where the Kings were they were 18th going into the All-Star break, and they finished at 18th. When you look at the teams at the top of this, my question is their defensive rating. When you look at the teams at the top of the list, how good can you be without having 2-3 elite defensive players? Basically, what I'm saying is, as crazy as it sounds, are the Kings pretty close to their ceiling defensively? If you look at the top teams, you have the Timberwolves, who are long as heck.
Just freaks.
Right? So, defensively, between Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns. McDaniels, they have crazy length. The Celtics, we know they are dogs defensively.
Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Horford.
All around. Derek White. Derek White
Drew
is another
Holiday.
guy. Drew Holiday.
All.
Cleveland Cavaliers, right? You got the
Twin Towers.
Yes, exactly. You got both of them, and really they're kind of the anchors, and then you have everybody else just kind of helping out as well. Oklahoma City Thunder, another extremely long team. Orlando Magic,
definition of length,
extremely long team. Number 6,
Pelicans.
New Orleans Pelicans,
definition
extremely
of
long
length.
team. It takes until you get. So here's the question now. Once you get to, I guess, the Knicks,
who have Tom Thibodeau as their head coach, though.
That's a good point as well. So you can
he
go
only
down,
cares about defense.
So you can go down the list here, and to round out the top 10, you have the Rockets, which is really surprising, actually. You have the Rockets, the Miami Heat, and the Denver Nuggets, okay? After that, weirdly, the Grizzlies are in there, the 76ers, the Clippers, the Suns, the Lakers, the Bulls, the Bucks, and at 18, the Bucks being at 17 is pretty wild.
Crazy.
That's one player.
Yeah.
That's losing Drew Holiday and swapping him with Dame Lillard. And then if you look, we'll look offensively.
Well, maybe that's the answer. I mean, that's kind of our question, right? Is how far can you get with one good player? I mean, the Bucks were number 1 in defense last year. They lose Drew Holiday, and now they're 17th. I mean, they still have Giannis.
Better than the Kings.
They still have Giannis, but you lose someone as impactful as Drew Holiday, and it takes you right back to the middle of the pack. So
yeah,
I hear what you're saying, and I think it's true. I think the Kings are they at their absolute peak? Probably not, but they're scratching on the surface of that ceiling.
They're pretty
right?
close, right? I love doing the example of whatever 40 time you were born to have.
Yes.
How much better could that be if you were born? If the first time you ran a 40, junior year of high school, sophomore year of high school, you run a 4.9.
Right.
What can you really?
You're not going to get down to a 4.3 at any point.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you get enough parachute runs and sled pulls. Maybe you can mess with a 4.5.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm thinking.
Don't ask me. My 40 times are trash.
I'm thinking more. Realistically, I'm thinking 4.6 is probably your cap
I was
here.
thinking
And we're not talking about any freakish growth spurts or anything like that. So if the Kings right now are at 18, the best version of the Kings, can they get
roster,
to top 10?
No, I don't
think so.
I don't know with this roster.
I think you get within top 15 and you say, man, that's pretty good. And you pray that their offensive rating does not drop as well.
Exactly, because I think that's the thing is they're just never going to give up enough on the offensive or never going to want to give up enough on the offensive end to be that. Like, I'm sure if they sold out and just said, Tom Thibodeau, we're going to play defense, okay? I don't care if we make no shots. We're going to play defense. I just don't think they'll ever do that. And so, I feel like, when you're going to play offense at the speed and pace and, trying to take as many threes as the Kings do, I just don't think you can realistically, with this current crop of players, I don't think you're going to get higher than like 14 probably. I'd be surprised if the Kings get any higher than that.
Yeah, it's something that I think deep down, Coach Mike Brown, he might not ever say it out loud because you don't want them to know that.
Right.
But I'm sure he knows we're doing pretty good defensively, and you cut down on some of those open threes and make sure you can test, and that's about as good as this is going to get.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
course.
you get to that. I think 15 should be their goal going into the playoffs. You can play a top 15 defensive efficiency rating. When last year were they bottom 5?
They were. I can't remember where they finished. I think it might have been 24. And I mean, the interesting thing too is going to be to kind of what we're talking about here. Last year, the Kings were whatever they were, 24, 22. I can't remember. But the big thing was they took a leap in the postseason. I don't know numbers-wise how big of a leap it was, but eye test-wise, it was a massive leap in physicality and attention to detail. The question is this year, and what they were banking on a lot in this offseason, Mike Brown talked about it, if we can get our baseline to, like you said, 15 and then we again take a leap, that's where you go from 15 to maybe talking about a top 10 or what would look like a regular season top 10 defense. The question is, did they just make that leap during the regulars? Is there still another leap to go, or are they scratching the surface on, or I guess it wouldn't be the surface. Are they scratching the ceiling on what would be what this team is capable of defensively?
And I know it's so important to get after it defensively, but we also watched last season as they did take a step defensively. Yeah. What happened? The shot stopped falling.
Right.
And they ultimately lost the series. So as much as you want that defense, if you still got to make shots.
Yeah.
It's a make or miss league.
Especially this team. Yeah, that's their identity.
You have to. So I don't know if you're telling me the offense is going to take another step back for the Kings to get to top 15, I'd say no. I just don't think they can afford to.
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of like what you just talked about in general with Kevin Huerter, where it's like it's great if Kevin Huerter is improving defensively. It's great if he's even good defensively. But at the end of the day, I want Kevin Huerter out there making a ton of shots. And that's kind of how this Kings team is the same, where it's great if they're playing defense. I want them to play defense. It's part of them being good if they're playing defense. But at the end of the day, if their offense ain't hitting, then they're probably not going to win anyway. And so that's the balancing act, really. It's been with the individuals, but as the team in total, it's like, can you guys figure out how to, I don't know if it's stamina management. I don't know if it's just like a mentality thing of, you're focusing so much on the defensive details that on offense, you're kind of lost or what it is, but they have to figure out how to be able to defend and knock down shots. And, I know Mike Brown's going to continue to harp on it. He's not going to let them slip defensively, but, even again, you still see Kevin Huerter had a great night last night, but nobody else really helped from three. Like Keegan hit 2, only took 4. I don't know what that's about. De'Aaron hit 2 of 6. Malik was cold from 3. Trey couldn't hit anything. Duarte was great, but I still think, and they ended up shooting 39% as a team, but again, 33 attempts from 3, which is again a low number for this team. I just hope that the shots don't go cold again, because I really feel like, especially in the playoffs, I think that's the kind of thing that gets in this team's head, and I haven't seen them be able to recover enough times.
Shout out Kevin Huerter. People have been getting at me a little bit on the socials about Kevin Huerter, and I like Kevin Huerter. Okay, I really do.
You like him too much might be the problem.
I
tried to hold you back.
I like him too much, and Nate wasn't in last night. We will review dog segment. Nate's
gonna. Did you take him?
I should have.
Took him in the
I
prop.
took rebounds.
I took him in the prop.
And he did not hit. It was 4.5. But he had 21 points.
Taking him in the prop is being like, I don't want that Cinnabon, but let me just smell it. Let me just get a smell. I'm not gonna take a bite, but let me just.
It's not wrong.
Kevin Huerter,
he's not wrong.
21 points out of Kevin Huerter, 5 for 8.
Fantastic.
If this is the Kevin Huerter.
And some middies, too. Like, we saw him take it into the paint and hit that little turnaround.
And he had 5 assists.
Yeah,
he had 5 assists, some cut. De'Aaron with that beautiful cut towards the end of the half, was that? That was outstanding. So, Kevin Huerter, that's what we need.
Yeah.
I won't get at you. And not to say you're going to have 20 points every single night, but between 12 and 20.
Yeah.
12 and 20, this team.
That's why they brought him in, to be that 12 and, hit those 3 threes, 4 threes. If he gets hot leading into the playoffs, he could be dangerous, because he was a no-show essentially.
And we talked so much about we talked so much about Domantas Sabonis and what him having something to prove in the playoffs. I think that's a microcosm of this whole team. I think Kevin Huerter has some things to prove. This is where you make your money. This is money. This is literally money time.
Yep.
Bruce Brown. Money time. He did his thing.
Oh my god!
He went and got a bag.
Right.
You want a real bag?
Yep.
This is money time.
Montel Williams.
What?
You never watched Montel Williams had that money commercial? My bad. Sorry.
Montel Williams.
Yeah. JG Wentworth.
JG Wentworth. It's my money and I want it now.
There you go.
Do the Kings want their money? Because they all have something to prove. All of them, I would say, going into the playoffs. But you got to get there first. Not going to put.
I got my swagger back.
They're getting it.
They are getting it.
That's Kevin.
That's right. That's right. And we hope it continues in LA. We will predict the upcoming 4 games when we get back. Also going to discuss, somebody, we made it past half the show and we didn't bring him up. Harrison Barnes played 6 minutes in the first half. What's that about? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Sacramento County Voter Registration and Elections.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast features sun and clouds mixing in. We'll have a light north wind for the afternoon. A little warmer today with highs in the upper 60s. Expect overnight lows in the lower 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The next election is March 5th. Vote centers open February 24th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 762-8019. Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at Elk Grove Kia.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
As I continue to rehab my Achilles, I'm on the lookout now for some hoop shoes. I told everybody, and I haven't had one person hop on the Sac Chat or the text line for a sneaker plug because the Kobe girl dads are coming out in May, and I need them. So somebody help me, but I'm on the shoe watch right now, so I'm getting those either way. But De'Aaron Fox with some crispy highlighters last night. They're too much for you?
I wouldn't wear them. I don't hate them because they were a bit like the reverse Grinches, and so
which you don't like.
I'm not the again. I don't think I would wear them.
Right.
I won't say I don't like them. I will say in general, I have heard to your question about shoes. I've heard the Currys have really good traction. Like I've heard it's got the best like slip resistance.
I thought you were gonna say ankle protection.
Oh. No. Those come sold separately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Alan, you should try the Pujetter threes, man.
If I could
They're
get
right
those,
up your alley. There's just something about you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
He is my type of guy. Yeah, but De'Aaron, those shoes were light bright. Those were highlighter.
Yeah, those
green.
were beam bright.
The one thing though with shoes like that is I do typically like a break. I don't like I want to see them up close, and I don't know how I could do that, but because I'm trying to
could ask him.
You know what's crazy too is they switch shoes from the time we see them warm up to game shoes.
Oh yeah.
That the first time I saw that blew my mind.
Yeah, well, I didn't do it for game time, but I definitely had practice cleats and game.
Sure,
cleats.
right, yeah.
I guess that's
on game day,
on game day,
like 30 to 45 minutes before you play the game.
Right, but that's pretty swaggy.
Shoes.
When you played baseball, did you have the metal cleats that are basically just knives on your feet?
Yeah, but I didn't sharpen them like Ty Cobb or something.
Yeah, dude, those are dangerous.
Yeah, and honestly, the more they implement turf in baseball, I think I talked about this. There's people are starting to just use turf shoes, which feels weird to me because there are some baseball fields with no dirt. So why, not even in the batter's box. Right. So why would you don't need metal cleats?
No,
but it's still weird to me.
After the when I was covering the Niners, the playoff game this year, the Packers won. Trent Williams has 2 lockers. He's the only player in the locker room with 2 lockers. One of them is almost entirely dedicated to cleats. There was like 16 pairs.
I'm so mad, though.
I just don't get. I don't understand the like nuances of shoes.
Because you're not a hooper.
I'm not
or a sneakerhead.
I'm not either one. Yeah,
Why
that's
would
why I'm
you
rocking the New
want-
Balances.
Why would you want to wear new shoes for the game too? Like I would think that you would want to break them in.
You do break them in,
100%.
but you don't break them in where anybody can see.
How long does it take you?
You don't
guys
break
to-
them in too much.
When you were playing, how long did it take you to break in some cleats?
Not that long.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
Not that long.
Shoes
but I
take me like a week and a half.
What are you doing in them? Not hooping.
Just grinding, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
Doing
grinding.
the Payless thing where he's
I
just
drive a
running
stick
down
shift, so I have
hallways.
a clutch I got to kick in, and
that's true.
That's wearing it in.
I'm so mad at the timing though, because there's so many swagged out cleats now that I just
I mean
I just
everybody
don't
got those
get to
Jordan
see.
1
The Jordans
cleats
are
on.
now.
That's crazy.
When I was
Cam
out,
Newton used to have those ones that went up to like his shins
I
that were
hated
that
those.
high.
yeah, that was a different time.
He's back.
I had to wear the swag in my day were the swingmans when Griffey teamed with, it was like Griffey
right, yes, they
and
had the
Jordan.
24 on it.
Yes,
right? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Those were my go-to.
Jeter had some Jordan cleats
Jeter
too,
had
right?
some Jordan cleats.
Yeah.
Those were my jams. And now everybody gets the world. But if anybody knows what type of shoes De'Aaron was wearing last night, or has a close-up
I mean, they
picture
must have
of
been
them.
Steph's, right? They must have been Curry's.
But I thought you said there's like a different version. He's not wearing Steph's shoes every night, is he?
No, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think he's wearing the Curry brand every day until he gets his own.
With a Curry brand, but Steph specific shoe.
Oh yeah, no,
You know what I
I
mean?
have no idea. As you
That's
know,
not how
I
that
don't
works.
Keep up with that, man.
All of them aren't Curry shoes right now.
They're all under the Curry brand, but I don't think there's
They're
only
not.
one Curry shoe.
Okay, like a Curry. Okay, all right.
You know what I
It's a little
mean? It's like
convoluted, yeah.
Jordan, same thing with Jordan. You have the CP3s or whatever the
Okay.
case is. But you know who wasn't really breaking in any shoes last night? And that was Harrison Barnes, who only played
Bringing in his-
Jordan Brand. Is he still Jordan Brand?
He is. Yeah, I saw him
His dress
yesterday. wearing
shoes.
some
It's just a
Jordan
great
Brand.
value deal for both sides. It just makes sense. It makes sense for both sides. As Harrison Barnes played 17 minutes, he played 6 minutes in the first half. This was one
Chris
of those.
Duarte played more minutes than he did yesterday.
Harrison Barnes had 5 field goals, attempted 1 3-pointer, somehow got to the line once where he missed one of the shots, went 1 for 2.
It's your guy.
He had
Laser
my
beam.
guy. Well, he had 4 rebounds, 1 steal randomly, and somehow managed 2 fouls in 17 minutes. He had 5 points.
Yeah.
Was this an unofficial? We like what we see. We spoke about it, and it was a bit of a split with Sabonis and Trey Lyles played a lot in the first half.
Yeah.
What did you make of? He also only ended up at 15 minutes, and I think that maybe Coach Mike Brown felt like it could have been a Trey Lyles thing, but he couldn't throw a beach ball into the ocean last night. So then Harrison Barnes ends up playing more than Trey Lyles in the second half. What did you make of Harrison Barnes unofficially being benched in the first half?
It was interesting for sure. I mean, HB and Keegan seem to be I guess Herter too, but those guys really, it depends on how they're playing, depending on their minutes depend on how well they're playing, it seems. And yesterday, I think it was just a matter that Kevin Herter was playing well. And so in the closing lineup, they went Fox, Monk, Herter, Keegan, and Sabonis. And I think sometimes it's that simple. And Duarte definitely took a good chunk of HB's minutes as well in that second quarter, or I think it was the second quarter, and a bit in the third as well. I think it's just really as simple as those, as Kevin Herter played well, and so that kind of left HB on the outside looking in. You know, he didn't really have much of an impact. He did have I believe he had no points at halftime, if I'm not mistaken.
And he had 5 in
no
one half?
points at halftime, and then pretty much all in the third quarter. He went to the free throw line in the fourth. He had his 2 field goal attempts. I believe it was right after each other. And he looked really aggressive. It's just, we need more of those moments. And I don't think last night was the night for HB to have one of his games that we've seen here recently. But, you know, in that little stretch where he kind of woke up, I had a moment where it's like, why can't we just get one of these moments a quarter, or one of these moments or two, whatever, this kind of moment every half from him? It's just wanting, it's just always wanting just a little bit more from HB. And it might not even be his fault, but it just feels like, too many times we sit here and we're like, HB only played 15 minutes and only took 5 shots. And I know Mike Brown will say that he does things that don't show up in the box score, but still there's some things that could show up in the box score that it just feels like he's not doing consistently enough.
Yeah, and I like HB. We go back and forth with him so much here, and it's not just us.
He's
I think
solid.
all Sacramento Kings fans. But the disappearing acts, that does worry me. Let's say Coach Mike Brown, he's trying to really cement his rotation for the playoffs. What is that last night? Specifically with that spot, you got to think if you were to ask a confidence meter for the positions and the different rotations, that's got to be one that I think, and he mentioned HB as far as the difference. Actually, it was a really, really good piece that Coach said last night about how last season they didn't have any expectations. Everybody was just having fun. And really one of the only guys that probably had any experience was HB.
Yeah.
So I know he's going to give HB the nod, and he'll probably have a longer leash in the playoffs. Definitely. And you got to hope that if he's going to have a longer leash in the playoffs, though, it does go back to say, well, then why pull him now? Maybe it's just to see if he isn't finding his way, Duarte, who can I count on in that moment? So look, we have 27 more games to figure this thing out, but the disappearing acts for HB could come back to bite the Kings at some point in time, because every position is simply important, just very important. When we get back, we will predict the next 4 games for the Kings, and someone in high school got a quintuple double. That is not a mistake.
What?
I never heard about a quadruple double, let alone a quintuple double. All that and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fried co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford Half-Ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try. Finance for GM.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Discover your dream home at Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. A talented team of home services experts is ready to make your projects a breeze. No more endless internet searches. Find your contractors in one place. Enjoy stress-free service absolutely free, with no hidden costs and no account to set up. Transform your living space into something extraordinary. Visit Subcontractors United today and experience the joy of hassle-free home improvement. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Fox now on the left angle, gets the two-point range, lobs it out to Herter, wide open. 3 to seal the deal. He's got the triple, and Fox has a career-high 16th assist.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And here's Purdy going to throw one deep, wide for Debo. Made the catch on the back shoulder. Touchdown! San Francisco!
And a back shoulder banger for Debo Samuel.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Fidium Fiber Internet is fast becoming a hometown favorite. With a dedicated connection and speeds up to 2 gigs, Fidium is winning over fans every day. Plans start at just $25 a month, so everyone can experience the best internet in the game. Visit FidiumFiber.com.
This segment is brought to you by Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's go around here and predict the next 4 games for the Kings that are incredibly important. They got the gimme out the way, if you will. They took care of business, and now they are being thrown in the pool. They have the Clippers on Sunday, get a little bit of a break. Get the Clippers on Sunday. Then they have a back-to-back with the Clippers, and then they come home for the Heat. After that, next Wednesday, They have the Nuggets in Denver, who the Nuggets, they are undefeated against. The Nuggets, we keep on saying the Nuggets are going to have something for them, and they haven't been full strength, right? So there's that. But the Kings have had their number in a way. And next up, they have the T-Wolves, who I believe they have split with so far. That is not a back-to-back. That is Wednesday and then Friday, March 1st. But that is in Minnesota, where the Kings did beat the T-Wolves earlier in the season and gave them their first home. The easy answer here is 2-2. That's the easy answer.
I'm going to try to not do that.
It's hard to not do that.
It's really hard not to.
Because you're either going 2-2 or you're going to be pessimistic or seem too optimistic.
Yep.
Those are your options here. Should I add in a fifth game to make it easier? Should I add in the Bulls game?
No, it's fine. No. There's just no fence hitting. Unless you have a really, really good explanation for it. We'll try and pick one.
So can't say 2-2.
It's either, or which one do you feel like is more likely, 3-1 or 1-3?
That's really what we're asking here, and I would say more likely would be. I think more likely is 3-1. I don't know what these other teams have as far as if they're coming off back-to-backs, and we can check that too. But I think more likely is 3-1, and it all starts in LA. You get this game against the Clippers, and you're set up nicely because you can hopefully you get the Heat. I know it's a back-to-back, and then all you have to do is beat the Nuggets or the T-Wolves, which I believe they can do. So I think it's more likely to go 3-1. I don't see them. I think it's either 3-1 or 2-2. I don't see them going 1-3.
I feel good about the Miami game. I'll say that. I know it's on the second night of a back-to-back. Even when they played Miami the first time, it felt like they got a really good punch out of Miami. And, at home, Miami's traveling all the way from let me see if Miami has a road game before that, but I don't believe they do. So they'll probably be traveling or at least on a road trip in general to play the Kings. Miami is obviously pretty far away from Sacramento. They'll actually be in Sacramento. They have a game on Friday against New Orleans and then don't play again until Sacramento on Monday. So they'll be flying pretty far away from home. I feel good about Miami. The Clipper game, I think you're right. I think the Clipper game kind of does determine all of it because if they're feeling good and they are 2-0 at first and then are heading into that Denver Timberwolves situation, I mean, they're already 3-0 against Denver, feeling great. You can maybe say Denver's got something for them and probably wants to prove a point to them themselves. But the approach that the Kings can have there is, let's just try and split these two. And, of course, that's maybe this is a different version of me sitting on the fence, but I think that should be easily doable because even though the T-Wolves are a really tough matchup, I think the Kings have some things that can throw them off. We've seen them beat them too in the past earlier in this season. I'll say 3-1. I'll say 3-1 as well.
Yeah, just for the record, none.
Yeah, no, I'm saying 4-0. I'm saying 4-0, and I do believe that there's a good chance that happens.
4-0.
I think 4-0. I think 4-0.
I like it.
I think 4-0.
Just for the record, none of these teams will be coming off a back-to-back.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, none of them will be coming off a back-to-back. The Clippers play today and then play Sunday. The Heat play
Friday
today
and Monday,
and then play Monday.
Yeah.
Didn't the Kings come out 5-0 after the All-Star break last year?
Yep.
So Chris, you're on track for same thing.
Yeah. As opposed to it as I was probably a week ago, I don't know. I'm finding myself believing in this team again.
Yeah, and then you have
don't get hurt.
I know.
Yeah, and then you have the T-Wolves.
Setting myself up for it.
The T-Wolves play Wednesday and then they play Friday, so they get a day off. And then the big one here is the Nuggets get a nice little break. They play the Heat on Thursday. They play the Warriors on Sunday, and then they don't play again when they play the Kings on Wednesday. So I don't.
Kings
got their number.
Kings
got their number.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time, and we still have not seen the Nuggets at 100% full strength.
Yeah,
it's been the Michael Porter Jr. game. No disrespect to Michael Porter Jr., but that's the closest we've seen them.
Yep.
That first game there was no Jamal Murray. In the third game there was no Jamal Murray, and the second game was no Michael Porter Jr. So that's the closest we've seen them. And yeah, they will be well rested Sunday. They play Denver. The Warriors, and then they head back to Denver.
Yep.
To not play until Wednesday against the Kings.
Well, let me ask you, Chris. I mean, you guys are both pretty high on this next 4-game stretch, 3-1 and 4-0. Which game worries you the most? And maybe a comparison between the Heat game and the Nuggets game, because the Heat coming off back-to-back, coming from LA, so you're coming off a flight to play at your home, which is nice. But then you get the Nuggets at a fuller strength, right?
Yeah.
Like basically full strength.
Yeah.
On that coming off a big rest. So
in Denver.
Yeah, in Denver. So what do you guys think? Which game scares you the most, or maybe between those two, which is worse?
For me, it's the Clippers because they haven't beaten the Clippers.
Yeah.
I know they haven't beaten the Heat, but they've only played the Heat. They've only played the Heat once, and it was in Miami, and it was a long road trip. I would say it's the Clippers. I think it sets the tone for the trip or for the next couple games here. And I don't really know that the last 2 games against the Clippers were particularly close.
I don't believe so. I'm going to agree and say the Clippers as well. It just feels like matchup wise, they have a really tough time dealing with Paul George, Kawhi, and James Harden. And then Russ off the bench is just really good energy, and Russ and De'Aaron kind of have a weird relationship where I think it's a respect thing, but it also does get a little competitive and kind of brings out the best in Russ, and that's not really great for us. Yeah, they've had Denver's number in a weird way too. They match up really perfectly with Denver. And maybe it's because they're building out their teams, or the Kings are building out their team in a very similar fashion, but it feels like the advantage that Jokic typically has against the other team's other center just isn't there when he goes against Sabonis. They pretty much cancel each other out. I think De'Aaron's much better than Jamal Murray. Not much better, but I think De'Aaron's a better player than Jamal Murray is. I think Michael Porter Jr. on his day can be a problem for sure, but the Kings, whether it be Kevin or Malik, or the Kings' third guy, should be able to cancel him out. So Denver doesn't really make me nervous. Minnesota does probably make me the second most nervous, but I think the Clippers probably own that number 1 spot.
You have to think that the Nuggets are going to get one against. We just talked about the Pelicans.
Right.
So if you're asking who I think they're most likely to lose to, I'd probably say Denver, because they are going to have a long rest between Wednesday and Sunday, and they have not beaten the Kings yet,
right?
Which is something that I know is probably bugging them at the
same
very
way
least.
That the Pelicans bother us.
Exactly. And just for reference, the 2 games they played November 29th and December 12th against the Clippers. November 29th, they lost to the Clippers 131 to 117.
Yeah.
And December 12th, they lost to the Clippers 119 to 99.
Yep. And it has not been close with the Clippers all year long. And it's tough. I mean, they obviously have 2 really big forwards. That's going to throw the Kings off, but they also have a lot of experience. And, frankly, the Clippers have been a team that's been the butt of a lot of jokes recently, especially just with their health. With them having Kawhi and Paul George, but having no championships to show for it. This year, they've played with like some real intentions. And I just think they're to me, I think we talked about it yesterday or 2 days ago. They're the scariest team in the West to me. So I just feel like the Clippers are the team where if you feel like you can compete with them, realistically, you can probably compete with anybody in the West. I'm just not there yet with the Kings. I don't think the Kings are quite able to. Maybe on a given night they are, but if you're telling me in a 7-game series, that's just a really, really tough ask for this Kings team, I think.
When we get back, we take a look at the standings. We're going to be doing this for the rest of the season. We'll take a look at the standings and tell you who you fortunately or unfortunately have to root for each night as we look for the quest for the 6th seed. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Keegan, quick catch, quick strike. There's another one up in the lights and in the well. 10 3-pointers made. Keegan Murray putting on an all-time scoring exhibition tonight.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company Zone Report.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet Arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet Arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Now here's what I want you all to do for me.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Some Giants news. I don't know if it's news that could be news. This is from John Heyman. The belief is ex-A star Matt Chapman wouldn't mind the Giants. This is in a piece that he wrote for the New York Post. That he would not mind the Giants, but the problem is, as it has been, this is a quote, the belief is ex-A star Matt Chapman wouldn't mind the Giants, but there was a decent gap in talks at last check. Surprise, surprise, there was a gap.
Okay. Well, that doesn't sound like things are close.
I don't think it's close with anybody.
Yeah.
I think it was closest.
Yeah.
With the Giants, but I don't think it's close with anybody. And this is crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, at what point, if you're a player, do you say, hey, Scott, Scott Boris, the agent, hey, Scott, let's
love
just
money,
get something
dude,
done.
But I'm a baseball player, and I need to play baseball.
None of these guys is their first contract. I hate to do the greedy thing, and I'm not saying they are. You want to get paid what you're worth. We all do, but it's not your first contract.
Yep.
And it might not be your last contract.
Yeah.
So this stalemate that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game on right now.
Game on right now.
The Dodgers are winning again.
Again. Freddie Freeman hit a homer too. Not that it really matters, but
again,
it's interesting because I do wonder at what point, because we haven't heard. I mean, it makes sense because it's dealing with the agents, but we haven't heard the players speak up about this at all either, right? Mm-hmm. Like them even coming out and saying like, "Hey, yeah, Scott has my full trust. He's always done right by me." There hasn't even been any of that, has there, to our knowledge? Like, I think that's the thing that I'm most interested to hear is, and maybe we won't hear it until these guys get signed, but, of course, agents act in their best interest. I would assume, this has all been, to some extent, cleared by these guys, but at what point is it, like, you're telling me that all of these guys are cool with this? I feel like maybe one or two of these guys has to be like, okay, I know you said we're going to hold out for the most money, but you're literally saying hold out for the most money.
This is football level.
Yes, it really is.
You're not
Except
at
you don't
camp.
have a team.
You don't have don't have a team. It's hey, we understand the issue.
Yeah.
So this is very, very compelling in a non-compelling way because nothing's been happening.
Well, and at some point too, isn't it going to be the players are going to be the ones that are way more like the teams are going to say, look, we're playing opening day.
We have
regardless.
We have 4 third basemen. They might not be Matt Chapman, but we're going to run somebody out there.
At some point, someone's just going to say, look, you either want a contract or you don't. Mm-hmm. And we're going to, as a matter of fact, we're going to offer you less now because we know people aren't calling.
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how long this thing goes, but if it keeps going, I mean, who knows? Is there a possibility that these guys are free agents and we're playing actual baseball games? Like, is that an actual possibility?
I don't
like regular season games.
I don't know. I mean,
we still have a month.
Yeah, we're not that far
right?
away. So anything is possible, but I think these guys want to get in there. You got to get acclimated to a team. And honestly, that goes back to what we talked about yesterday. If it does get that far and you have a dude that balled out, because it doesn't matter.
Right.
If you have some AAA dude that balled out the whole season and you are about to, you say, hey, man, you made it to the big leagues. And then you say, hey, Chapman, he's going for 100 mil less.
Yeah.
Right. And you say, hey, man, I know we said you're going to the big leagues, but you're going back to AAA for now, and ultimately those guys, hey, it is what it is. But I can't see it getting that far.
I wouldn't think so.
But it's another day.
I mean,
it's
exactly.
Day.
I'm like, I wouldn't have thought that it would have gotten this far, right?
How about this? Maybe over the weekend, now that games have started, some dudes are probably sitting, Cody Bellinger, whoever is sitting on their couch thinking, all right, man, enough is enough. Let's get something done. Or something behind the scenes is going on. Let's take a look at the Western Conference standings, and we will be pocket watching for the rest of the season. So last night, Chris, the Mavs beat the Suns.
Oh, there we go.
The Warriors beat the Lakers with no LeBron. Both of those teams are hot. And if I'm not mistaken, those 3 teams between the Pelicans, the Suns, and the Mavericks, yes, this is from Tim Maxwell. The Pelicans, Suns, and Mavericks are combined 23-7 over their last 30 games. Cool. Something's got to give. I think something is going to give with the Suns. Suns are on a back-to-back, so they play again tonight, and that is something that you have to monitor as well. Here you go. So if you're wondering who you are fans of tonight with the Kings having a night off, we are Heat fans, Rockets fans, Hornets fans, and Spurs fans. That is who you are fans of tonight. If you are a Kings fan, as let's go through the list here. You have the Heat heading to NOLA to take on the Pelicans. You have the Suns heading to Houston, and again, they played last night, so that's a back-to-back for them. The Suns head to Houston to take on the Rockets. The Hornets, another back-to-back for the Warriors, The Hornets, this is a big one because that's Eastern Conference. So nobody gains anything. I know the Hornets are terrible.
Yep.
But if the Hornets find a way to beat the Warriors, not likely. But if the Hornets find a way to beat the Warriors, that would be very nice. And you have the Spurs coming off both teams coming off a back-to-back. Lakers lost. I don't know if LeBron will play tonight, but the Spurs and Wembanyama, I'm sure. I mean, that's a Friday night. Is that a national game? Maybe?
Let me check. I don't think so. I honestly kind of hope not. It wouldn't surprise me. Not that I'm seeing here.
They're not. It's not. So maybe LeBron plays. Maybe he doesn't. The Spurs coming off a game. Hey, maybe the Spurs are feeling good as they've been, trying to get over the hump here. They played a good game. They almost got a win against the Kings. If the Lakers don't play LeBron again tonight, Wembanyama balls out. Game time decision. Maybe the Spurs can get a W against the Lakers and help out the Kings as well. That's where we are for pocket watching throughout the rest of the season. Heat fans, Rocket fans, Hornets fans, and Spurs fans.
Yes.
Right now, I mean, to boil it down a little bit more, you really need the Pelicans, Suns, and it looks like the Mavs don't play.
Right.
Would be really nice for the Pelicans to lose and the Suns to lose.
Yeah, and the Suns are on a back-to-back because they played Dallas yesterday.
Right. That's right.
And I don't believe the Pelicans played yesterday. They might have, but I don't believe – oh, no, they did. They played Houston yesterday. So the Pelicans are as well on a back-to-back. So I would say
Pelicans won last night.
They did win yesterday against Houston. But, Miami's a bit of a tougher matchup, and maybe they can loosen up Miami a bit before the Kings have to play them on Monday. Also want to throw this out there. I was looking at as I was looking at the standings, something definitely stuck out to me as we were just talking about in that last segment about this Kings 4-game stint that they have here, 3 of which those games are on the road in LA, in Denver, in Minnesota. Those 3 teams at home this year, Minnesota 19-5. Clippers 20-6, Denver 22-5, a combined 61-16. Those 3 teams are at home.
Kings have 2 of those losses, though.
That's true.
They got 2 of those losses.
That is true. It just does not make me feel great about my 4-0 prediction. But on the same token, if they can get it done, how much more impressive of a trip is it? With that being the fact that they went into a place where those guys are very, very comfortable. And would it be able to get those results? That'd be great.
And by the way, we saw you on the text line, got a double agent on the text line from the 925 say, keep drinking the Kool-Aid. That was us not saying that was us saying you can't say 2-2.
Yes.
That's too easy.
We honestly probably believe
that's the most
2-2.
easy answer because that's probably what will happen, but you're not gonna catch us on a payday Friday saying the Kings are gonna go 1-3 or 0-4. It ain't gonna happen.
Sorry.
So quit asking. It ain't going to happen. From the 916, I don't mind the Kings playing anyone in particular if they can finish at number 6. But if the Pels or Clippers finish at number 3, that would be demoralizing. No way the Pelicans finish at 3.
Yeah, there's no way.
916. I don't believe that. We're more so thinking the Pelicans could slip into the play-in.
Yes.
But the Clippers, there's a really good chance they finish at 3.
Yeah.
So we should just mentally prepare for that. And maybe you'll feel a little bit better about it after the Kings get a W on Sunday when they head to LA to take on the Clip Show. I don't think anybody calls them that, but we're going to call them that. So hopefully they get upset and they lose a ball game. Coming up next, we continue the conversation. We also have our Friday fun, fair or foul, where we have KFC doing too much with some food as usual and fans getting into it with KD. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. Order online and pick up at your local store. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton's President's Day savings. Unleash luxury and precision in a new Acura Integra, RDX, MDX, or TLX. Quality meets affordability with savings on our best selection. Get to AcuraofStockton.com and start your experience today. Own the road in style. Visit us today or go to AcuraofStockton.com. Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments. And after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-854-2815. 800-854-2815. That's 800-854-2815.
Hey, Sacramento, guess what? It's an extra special year, a leap year, and we're making every second count at Elk Grove Kia. Get ready to leap into savings like never before. February might be the shortest month, but our deals are anything but short on value. We're slashing used car prices so you can take home your dream Kia today. And speaking of dreams, leap into this deal with the Kia Forte for just $19,988. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it's waiting for you to drive it home. But wait, there's more. Lease the stunning Kia Seltos for only $199 per month. Yes, you heard it right. A brand new SUV for just $199 per month with approved credit and a down payment of $3,595 plus taxes and fees. This deal is too good not to take the leap. Drive away in style with the Kia Seltos. But hurry, our inventory is limited and these deals won't last forever. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia, conveniently located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com and leap into savings today. Only at Elk Grove Kia.
This segment is brought to you by Subcontractors United, your source for all home improvement needs. Dream big at subcontractorsunited.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text text at 916-339-1140.
We talk a lot about triple doubles on this show. Well, Kiana Christmas will do you not one better, but two better. A quintuple double in her high school game. She is a senior out of Fonda, New York. 11 points, 11 assists, 10 steals, 10 blocks, and 20 rebounds. What? That is insane.
We got to get her on the KHK hoop squad.
We have to. We have to.
She's locking down Kyle.
She is locking down Kyle.
Ledbetter, not Draper.
Right, exactly. We didn't talk about Draper.
I bet he charges.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna run, and then be like, "That's not a foul."
Come on, man! No blood, no foul.
That's not a foul. Are you kidding me?
No blood, no foul.
And then I don't know. You got like Simone reffing, and he's screaming at Simone. That's not a charge. That's fine.
Don't give him a box score. Just
do not
give him a box
And
score.
he's gonna be like, I didn't foul out. Oh, you're going to the numbers now. It's a numbers game. He's got like 9 fouls.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
In the first quarter.
That we have to at least do knockout or something. Or if you're Canadian,
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I would be so happy we record it.
Oh my
Who's winning that?
Me.
Oh, see, that's
the
what
problem
I
is.
like.
I can't really run after the ball if I miss.
It's so funny because like you were so confident you could throw a football farther than me.
Hold on. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can rip the ball.
Don't do. I had on a backpack. I was like Draymond.
You did look like Draymond.
With no backpack, I can rip it.
Why didn't you take it off? You even said when you were out there, you're like, oh, I'm not taking the backpack off. It's because I think you know.
Nate, I will.
I could literally throw further than both of you.
That's not.
Can we test this?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
I want to
absolutely.
do
We
this.
just need to get to an open field.
We just need to have a station Olympics.
We really.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And then we can figure out who
Yes.
is the most well-rounded athlete at the station.
Yeah.
Bragging rights forever. That's it.
Does that like include a 40-yard dash?
Well, I can't do that.
Is it the former Zont athlete?
If we're doing,
It's going to be me, or I don't do it because like Bryce Young, I don't do it, and then everyone would just assume that I'd be in the top 3.
Yes, exactly. Who's going to be the first loser though? Number 2 coming in and everything. I mean, we got
the first. Who's coming?
Jay's an ex-athlete.
Wait. So who's number 1?
No, I'm asking Alan who he thinks he's
Gotcha.
coming in second.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think I'm giving you a run for your money on most things.
You're not though.
Okay.
I think you underestimate me because
I'm stronger than you.
Jetter type.
I know I am. I know I am.
You know you're
coming off
stronger
the
than me?
Achilles. Yes.
In what way?
Physically. Physically.
To do what? To do what?
I mean, any sort of weight challenge right now.
Nate,
bro,
guys,
I deadlifted
This
the
is
most on my team.
Bro, you're coming off the
This is the
Achilles
most
right now.
toxic radio.
This is
I'm
the
just
most
saying.
alpha bro radio right
Can we get
now.
back to Nicole
Is this the
Jokic,
Joe
please?
Rogan podcast?
You started it. As we get back into fair or foul. Is this conversation fair or foul?
I'm taking my alpha brain, bro.
Probably foul. Chris, have you ever seen a quintuple double?
No. No. I haven't even. I've never even conceptualized the possibility. Even playing 2K, I would have never thought that you could have a quintuple double.
It's the steals.
It's
That's
insane.
10 steals is crazy.
Yeah, I could imagine 10 blocks in high school, like especially because I know like my unofficial cousin Juju Watkins wasn't allowed to play. I know it was elementary school high school basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, elementary school basketball. Like it could be a situation where she's just way better. I can understand 10 blocks. Like, it's easy to, if somebody's got a terrible jumper, swat that thing away. But yeah, to get 10 steals is insane. And she got 20 rebounds, 11 and assists. Like this is ridiculous. And I saw in the comments, they were calling her Nicole Jokic.
That's pretty good.
I love it.
That's pretty good.
I love
They should be calling her Nicole Sabonis is what they
There
should be
you
calling
go.
her because
There
he's
you go.
got more triple doubles than Jokic this season, and he's going to pass him as they're both tied at 19.
So I guess there's been, sorry to cut you off, there's been 2 quintuple doubles ever recorded. One is by Tamika Catchings, I would assume in high school as well. 25, 18, 11, 10, and 10.
Was it steals again?
10 steals. As well.
Is there any other stat?
No. It's got to be. Unless turnovers.
Yeah, do turnovers count? That's the question.
No.
I think Draymond's had, or someone, I remember someone getting it.
The other person,
exactly.
Guess who the other person who has had a quintuple double. It's the most obvious choice, Wilt Chamberlain, of course. And this one, Alan, I these numbers don't make sense. 53 points, 32 rebounds, 14 assists, 11 steals, 24 blocks.
Jeez. That's crazy.
Are you in on this whole, hey, where is the tape of the 100-point game?
I am 1,000% in on where is the tape of the 100 because I saw a video of Babe Ruth's rookie season the other day. What are we talking about? How do I have film of Babe Ruth, but not a single camera was in the gym to even see 5 of those 100 points?
What year was it? The 50s?
It was probably in the 60s,
That's
if I had to guess.
Kind of crazy. Camera-wise.
I feel like it should have been.
Are there pictures even?
The picture after the game.
There's the picture after the game.
That could have been taken years later.
I don't even know. I'd be interested to see if there's an official box score too. I don't know if I've seen like an official box score of that game. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm definitely on the train of, can we at least see something from this 100-point game? Like anything besides this picture of this man holding up 100?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm going to be holding up after the Olympics.
the KHCK. Oh, the Olympics.
The KHCK Olympics.
Well,
exactly
what did you get 100 of?
Anything.
100
life.
100 life.
Just 100 life. Fair foul. as we discuss. This is it. This is very much a Nate thing too. Are you guys in or out? This is actually something that I saw on a Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dive before.
Ooh,
Shout out Guy.
Shout out Guy, NorCal's finest. And it looks like KFC has gotten a hold of this. They were called, have you ever seen pizza wings? Have you seen that?
No.
So it's pizza wings where they're wings and then
I've seen pizza fries.
Six wings and then you put cheese on top and pepperoni and you eat them. They're
Doing
pizza
too
wings.
much.
I'm
doing way too
probably out on that. So KFC got a hold of that and it looks like they're using tenders, chicken breast, not wings. KFC to launch new chicken pizza called Cheesa.
Ew. Foul.
Fair foul.
Foul.
Very foul.
Foul.
Very foul.
And it hits someone. And it's bad. Because that's disgusting. That's it. Also fast food. Dude, fast food pepperoni.
Yeah.
And cheese.
Bro, gross.
On top of KFC.
Gross.
Cheesa. Okay.
I hate too much cheese on something too. And if you're giving me too much of that fast food cheese.
Wow, Nate, we actually agree on something. I am out on too much cheese for sure.
No
so
way.
we're all foul on that.
That's tearing you up.
I don't even know. Like,
we don't have enough time between breaks.
KFC is like once every 3 years for me.
Yeah, same. No,
KFC never on the radar. Ever.
Yeah, not
and
really.
It's probably for a root beer float.
I liked some of their stuff in my younger years.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
You know, the small chicken sandwiches and things like that. All right, so that's foul.
That's very foul.
The next thing we have for fair foul, I think they're both going to be foul. Fans get into it with KD. There is a video surfacing that we cannot play the audio because a bad word is said. Basically, KD, they're getting ready to run onto the court, and a fan calls KD the B word. KD confronts the fan, and the fan at some point tells KD, there's two of them, a man and a woman, and at one point, the woman who I think it's the woman who says it.
Which crowd was this?
This was in Dallas.
This was in Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Checks out.
And she tries to dap KD up after.
Yeah.
KD does not dap her up.
Not even looking.
And then the dude, which has become an overnight meme, says, and this is going to hit some of you in the feels here. He says, I have a podcast. I have a sports podcast. And the look KD gives him, that might have actually offended KD more than the actual bad word that was said. Dude, I don't want
him walk away.
I don't want to hear about that. And KD literally just walked away.
He throws his hand out. He's like,
we're done here.
He's literally like, that's it. Turns around, walks down. I mean, what's the question of fair or foul? What
There
part
is
of
no
this?
question.
Okay,
There
I
is
was
no
like this because it's all honestly pretty foul.
It's really more about
using your podcast as a defense for.
Yes.
Oh no! It's actually chill, dude. I have a podcast.
That was what was so weird about it. If you watch the video, he says it, or they say it. Whoever says it to KD.
Yeah.
KD comes back, and the guy is trying to have a legit convo. And I'm really just curious because it's like 5-minute convo. What are you guys talking about? Oh, no. What happened was we were discussing how you were B-word.
Yeah.
He didn't get that far in when he played this in his head before they went to the game.
No.
He's like, I'm going to call him that, and that's going to be it. He didn't expect, and then you're in that moment, and you're frozen. You're like, oh, I mean, the cool guy's talking to me.
They were right there, so there was no way he couldn't hear it. They're right there.
Insane.
As they're running out, and KD is just saying, everybody has trigger words, and KD did not, and that's one of the most universal trigger words, and KD did not enjoy it. And I can't confirm this, but I also saw, Chris, I don't know if you saw this, that KD did stop them from getting kicked out.
That's what I was going to ask you next is how do we feel about that? It's nice of Kevin Durant to do because they were going to get kicked out and probably weren't going to be allowed back in the arena, period. And then KD kind of saved them. I think it's cool by KD. Do I think it was the right thing? Probably not, because I think people like that need to learn their lesson the hard way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the reverse
it's a privilege
Westbrook.
to have those seats.
Yeah, so it is confirmed KD went out of his way to make sure they didn't get kicked out. It reminds me of
and that's not heckling either. To Nate's point about the Westbrook thing, Westbrook is heckling. They're calling him Westbrick.
Yeah,
calling KD the B word. That's not heckling.
The game hasn't even started yet.
That's just attacking him.
Yeah, the game hasn't even started yet. It reminds me of that Patrick Beverley situation where somebody wanted a signature and the kid was with his pops, I'm pretty sure, and Patrick Beverley kept saying, what do you say? Like, what you do to your kids?
Oh,
right. Saying,
yeah,
what do you say?
Yeah.
Say please. I guess KD wanted to teach them a lesson, but he's a hooper and doesn't want them to get kicked out. But yeah, I to your point, I don't know what happens there if KD doesn't want it and he's the one that they offended.
Yeah, sure.
But, if they might say we got away with it, and he's probably going to talk about it on his podcast. And hopefully not too many people check that one out.
Don't.
When we get back, we continue the conversation, and a new Hall of Famer is taking his Niners quarterback, over Brock Purdy. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Dr. Ken Howachek and kinesiologist Kelsey Graham discuss the Good Feet store.
The foot has a lot of detail. It has a lot of complexity. There's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of problems start in the foot and end up elsewhere. Knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When aligning the feet properly, we can see relief elsewhere. And that's the beauty of the Good Feet arch support. It can place the feet into their ideal position and gives them the balance, the support, the comfort, and the relief of the pain. The bottom line is that the Good Feet arch support can be a highly effective pain relief solution when nothing else has worked.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Modesto, Stockton, and Vacaville for a free fitting and test walk.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Patrick Willis was on RG3's podcast. I believe it's called The Ones. And RG3, we're getting close to that time. So obviously, RG3, I don't believe that he's fully gotten into. I know he'll tweet about other sports, but I'm pretty sure his podcast is mostly NFL stuff. So you have the draft coming up, and we have some notes on Kurt Warner we might get to today or maybe next week as Kurt Warner breaks down how tough it is to evaluate these college QBs. He talks about how CJ Stroud, you wouldn't have really expected it simply because of what they ran at Ohio State. But as far as RG3 and his podcast, is getting to that quiet time for NFL, as quiet as NFL can be. You got the draft coming up, and he's talking to fresh Hall of Famer Patrick Willis, and he asked Patrick Willis a really, really interesting question between Colin Kaepernick and Brock Purdy. He says, who would you rather take, 2012 Colin Kaepernick or 2023 Brock Purdy? And here is Patrick Willis's answer.
Cap replaced Alex Smith in 2012, and then, of course, Brock Purdy replaced Jimmy G, but it was the previous year. Both teams had a quarterback that had replaced the starter. Would you have taken Cap from 2012, or would you take Brock Purdy from 2023?
I'm gonna have to take Cap. A lot of people can go back and picnic like towards what it looked like, towards his last couple years or whatnot with the Niners, or his last year with the Niners. He did what he needed to do. It may not have been in a way that in a traditional quarterback throwing way, but man, you guys were something electrifying. But
I do think that, so this was going around Niners Twitter yesterday, and I do think that people are forgetting how ridiculous. We talked about Jaws on this show. He said, and I don't want to misquote him, he said that Cap would be one of or the best QB of all time. That's where we were with Colin Kaepernick. It was crazy, man. That dude could fly. He had a cannon. The one thing he was missing was the touch on his throws, but he had an absolute cannon of an arm. And they both ultimately lost in the Super Bowl. You had three quarterbacks that have all lost in the Super Bowl.
Last second losses, too. Heartbreakers.
All
make you want to
heartbreakers.
just go away and not talk to anybody for months.
Fair enough. So, Chris, when you initially heard this, would you rock with 2023 Brock Purdy or 2012 Colin Kaepernick?
I would probably go 2012 Kaepernick, and that's mainly just because I would prefer a little bit. I mean, Kaepernick as a runner too was just ridiculous. I don't, Nate, you could probably clarify this better for me, but I think it was that Packers game in the playoffs where I think it was the Packers
twice
or the
in the Packers. He did it.
I mean, where he would just run all over the place.
House calls.
And he did have a bit of a fastball, and that was kind of his only pitch.
If you didn't score, and you got into that red zone, good luck. There was no fade route. There was
it was all gas, no brakes.
All
with Colin.
gas, yeah.
But at the same time, like, he was a good enough passer to where you could make it work. And then if you mixed it with the running ability, like, your playbook was pretty much endless. I mean, if Colin would have had the talent, like the receiving talent and Christian McCaffrey that Brock Purdy has, that offense is crazy.
That's actually crazy.
We were thinking about Lamar joining the Niners this offseason.
No.
He literally couldn't throw a check. But that's why you got McCaffrey, because McCaffrey's the best receiving running back in the NFL. If anybody's going to catch that laser.
It doesn't matter if he's throwing right into the dirt.
All right, he's not throwing into the
dirt. I watched
We're talking 2012. We're talking 2012.
It's not, you think he fell off like that hard, that quick
Super
in one
Bowl
season,
Nate?
That defense was insane. But
the more he played, the more warts you saw.
This is Cap in a small sample size.
I don't know. I'm not. He can't, dude. His completions were rough. His running was insane.
Yeah.
He couldn't throw the ball very good. To be honest, it was.
I mean, Lamar Jackson, like he had no completion. Like he could not complete a pass.
Lamar Jackson is infinitely better. Like that is almost a rough comparison.
But no. But you have the reason we can't put Cap on this team and do that comparison is because it's a different NFL. But during that time when the option was unstoppable, right? I guess that's the issue with the question, because you can't really put. You could both say that Brock they both lose the Super Bowl, I think. And I think the reason we got here, Chris, is because you alluded to maybe them having this roster, but I don't know. I don't know that Cap gets it done.
If the question is who's the better quarterback, I think Brock is just uniform, probably the better quarterback.
Yes, he's the better.
If I'm taking a draft of my team, I'd probably want Colin Kaepernick just because of the wide range of possibilities that it opens up.
We should have asked Torrey Smith this question, a guy who caught balls from Kaepernick.
Yeah,
man.
Hindsight 2020.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, we'll never know. I think they both. The one thing, Brock doesn't have that electricity.
Yeah.
And I do think that it was a different NFL, and that's what Patrick Willis says. He's talking to RG3. You guys, man, he's talking about that was Kaepernick, that was Cam, that was RG3. We thought that the option was never going to be stopped, and then guys either got hurt or it got stopped.
Yep.
That was it. But for that period of time, I just think you can't really compare it because we're looking at two different NFLs.
Would you take RG3 that year over Kaepernick?
You probably have to.
That's his rookie year, RG3. I'm taking RG3.
Yeah, I mean, RG was crazy. RG had the combination of both. I mean, we're making fun of Colin Kaepernick's passing ability. That's what made RG so special, was he had the passing ability, but also had the wheels on top of it. You just only saw it for 1 year, but he had a game against the Vikings where he pretty much had a Michael Vick where I think it was like a 70-yard walk-off touchdown. And ever since then, I was like, this man RG is about as real as it gets.
He had that football like I want to say IQ, but ingenuity. Like he just understood the game. It seemed like on a different level than Kaepernick.
Yeah,
he's more similar to Russell Wilson, like prime Russell, like understanding how to win and just the use this word again, nuances of the game more.
You look at those 1-2 picks. Right. And, you talk about, hey, not to be disrespectful to situations and injury. But if you look back on, and this happens all the time, Mariota was was the number 2 pick. But if you look at Andrew Luck and RG3 and the hype that was around those 2 picks,
insane.
I guess it's different to have a conversation about being a bust, and a lot of people think bust versus injury. But if you look at the expectations for those guys, I don't think either of them lived up to them.
Yeah, it's kind of tough with Andrew Luck specifically because he kind of retired before he really even got fully going. But I mean, in the sense of, Andrew Luck was supposed to be Peyton Manning 2.0, quite literally. I mean, on the Colts.
Yeah, they literally dumped the whole season. Tanked the whole season just to get him.
So, I mean, I guess in that sense, and you mentioned injuries. I mean, RG was it. I mean, he showed, there's tape that shows RG was figuring it out. It's just he played in Washington on FedEx Field, and that thing tore up his knee. And the rest is kind of history. He was just never able to recover from it.
Still runs a 4.3.
He still does, in a suit, too. In a suit and all. Didn't he race like a falcon or something?
Because that's what they said. Go race a falcon.
Yeah.
When he was getting after it.
Suit and falcon. Are you sure you're not talking about Harrison Barnes?
He's definitely smoking Harrison Barnes.
No, dude, chill. I don't know about that.
So these are the types of conversations that once the offseason starts, this is what pops up. We're gonna have plenty of draft convo, but once the draft is over, it's gonna get a little bit dicey. I even saw something, and this will probably make Niners fans want to vomit. I saw something saying the Niners paid, was it Sam Darnold, was it $4 million or something like that. And this person was just asking a question. You know what happens when you just ask questions? And he was getting flamed. But basically he said, hey, Justin Fields is only being paid $6 million. Is it crazy to bring Justin Fields in to back up Brock Purdy? And he got destroyed.
Yeah.
This is not the time for that.
There. Yeah.
This is not the time for that.
So yeah, you have other needs.
There's just levels of, if you believe in your guy, you got rid of Trey Lance to not deal with those questions.
Right.
Imagine having Justin Fields during that 3-game stretch.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a nightmare. That's literally why they traded Trey Lance.
Where is Darnold going, though? What do you guys think?
I don't know why Pittsburgh is just chilling with Kenny Two Gloves and Trubisky. I don't know what they're doing.
Darnold's just another one of them.
Exactly.
Darnold's the fourth one.
At least he's a different variant.
No, different for the sake of being different.
Now we sound like Chris Watkins. It's just, are they all different Sam Darnolds?
Or different. Yeah.
Sam has more talent.
I don't know who
than both of those guys.
Mayoko says he has the most talented throw ever.
He's a jugs machine. He's a human jugs machine. When we get back, continue the conversation, getting back to the Kings, looking forward to the keys Sunday's matchup with the Clippers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. Laporta's over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Being chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast features sun and clouds mixing in. We'll have a light north wind for the afternoon. A little warmer today with highs in the upper 60s. Expect overnight lows in the lower 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Yeah, I caught my first fish, Dad.
Great job, buddy. He's a beauty.
Thanks for taking me fishing. Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the boat's always ready for those magical father-son moments. Who knows, maybe someday he'll actually like fishing. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. It's incredible. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company, L1 report.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Wonderful, my magic. Gorillas in the mist.
Sactown. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Friend of the show, Jeff Young, broken down some notes on Farhan Zaidi, who was on the Murph and Marcus podcast in the Bay Area, and has some notes from Farhan being on the show. So I got some of these notes that I'm going to read to you. This is how Jeff is interpreting everything. Farhan Zaidi, as we get ready for the Giants season, agrees that they are in a youth movement, especially on the pitching side. Sees shortstop and pitching as areas where they could continue to add, hinting more in terms of NRI deals rather than MLB deals, which is not good for the Matt Chapman crew. Did not rule out further additions to roster, but is shifting into the regular season mode. Believes it might be a challenge to get Luis Matos Major League Baseball at bats. Preference is for him to not start the year in AAA and believes he is ready for the next step. Sorry to all you River Cat fans, but Luis Matos is, he should be ready to go here, and he has a lot of tools. Farhan reiterates his stance that he has not heard the perception of San Francisco as being a detriment to recruiting free agents, but agents use it as a negotiating tactic. That's really interesting, that this thing has really, really taken off. And I would say that the only reason it's really taken off is because San Francisco is the only big city where it matters, right? If you're San Francisco and you think that you are a destination spot, but because of this, you have to pay us more. I don't think agents are going to Detroit or anywhere like that saying, well, what about the crime and what about how the city is, because they're not at the same level. They're not going to smaller cities and doing that. So San Francisco has that weird combo of being a big city, but hey, so you are in competition with other big cities, and hey, you guys we believe you look bad in some type of way compared to the other big cities. So that's pretty interesting that is the real thing. Agents are using that as a negotiation tactic, and good on Farhan for being honest about that. Continuing on here, Farhan is confident that current players like the experience of living in San Francisco. And last but not least, in terms of Matos, he didn't indicate that there might be a way for him to still get 300 to 400 at-bats, but the current starting outfield would consist, this is from Farhan's mouth, of Conforto, Lee, and Yastrzemski. He plays a good right field, but okay. All right. I mean, he's a lefty. I get it. But those are some notes from Jeff Young, friend of the show, who writes for Round the Foghorn. And he is recapping Farhan Zaidi that was on KNBR, the flagship for the Giants. Yeah. I mean, so for the Chapman convo, the Chapman rumors that we've been hearing between John Heyman saying that the Giants and Chapman, there is mutual interest, but last time they spoke, they weren't close. And now between Farhan saying they are, quote unquote, getting into regular season mode, Chris, that goes back to just all these. Farhan and the Giants are not the only ones starting to get into regular season mode. So I have no clue what's going to happen with these free agents.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to figure something's going to give, but I mean, it doesn't sound like it. And at some point, like we were talking about earlier, these teams are going to have to move on. Like at some point, you have to focus on the roster that you're actually going to go field. And you can have hopes of bringing in a guy like Matt Chapman, but if every time you try and go to the negotiation table, you come away and say, I don't think we're any closer than we were before, at some point you're just going to walk away, right? You're just going to say, I guess this isn't happening. And I don't know, man. I feel like this is I just don't see the owners budging on this. Like I think that this is a battle that Scott Boras might lose, and it's going to be interesting to see what the ramifications are going to be, because I wonder if the PA steps in at some point and says, hey man, like your cost, like I understand your heart might be in the right place trying to get these guys the most money, but I think you're maybe letting pride get in the way a bit too much. And it might be at the detriment of now. Granted, thankfully, all these players are incredibly talented and wanted, but it could come at the detriment of them really losing some money. And I mean, what are the odds that maybe these, he's looking for a long-term deal, but with how late in the process we are, like it feels like a 1-year deal. I mean, I don't know necessarily the ins and outs of how baseball usually works, but it feels like, the more rushed the process is, the more likely it is that it'll probably just be a short-term deal for both sides, right?
That's a great point. You have Tim Anderson, who, after the punch heard round the world when he got knocked out this past season, I was big, and I like Tim Anderson.
Yeah.
He's JUCO guy and kind of got it out the mud, and he's got a lot of swag. I think he's been a little bit misunderstood, but I think that he has been really important to the bat flipping and make the game fun again.
The Field of Dreams home run.
Yeah, the Field of Dreams home run.
Right?
Yes, he's been in the news a lot, and some for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons. Also in his personal life, you can Google that if you're curious what that's all about. But he is headed to Miami with Jazz Chisholm, who Jazz, you talk about swag. The two of them together, Jazz, I
got
believe,
it out the park.
Yeah,
man.
he's been moved to the outfield. At least he played in the outfield.
Oh man.
Yeah, last season he was in center, and maybe they move him back to second. I'd love to see both of them up the middle, but there's going to be a lot of swag out there in Miami as they hope to do some things. But to that point, Chris, 1-year deal for Tim Anderson. Now, I believe he's 30, right? So it's a little bit different there. But, I mean, Cody Bellinger, I don't believe, is a spring chicken. A lot of these guys have been around. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. Shout out to the Sack Chat as well. Arthur Smith says he's doing some yard work on this beautiful Friday and has the YouTube loud and clear so he can hear us. Going back to the KFC, the Cheesa, Manny Too Legit says he is out on the
Cheesa.
It's called the Cheesa.
Okay.
He's out on pizza
so
wings.
Terrible.
Arthur also says sprinkled Doritos on a pizza. Never heard about that one before. I mean,
get a little extra cheese, I guess.
Nate is shaking his head. No. Okay. Ryan Williams Art says, I'm calling that KFC invention foul.
Yeah.
Everybody is out.
It's a little bit of the, you remember the double down? I think it was what it was called, or the...
Was that the
it's a chicken?
Yes, with bacon.
Chicken patties.
Yeah.
It's a heart attack.
Yeah. My doctor won't let me eat that.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like KFC is going for some reason, is just, hey, does this image give you heart problems? Come to KFC. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, I guess it's just not for me. But
it
also
shouldn't be for anybody.
You said Arthur is out there doing his yard work. Reminded me. Have you checked the weather app?
I know
it's supposed to be 70 tomorrow.
70 tomorrow.
70 tomorrow.
Congrats, Alan.
It's not
70 tomorrow.
Nice.
I'm canceling. I had a
day for a walk.
I had a day date with the wifey plan. I got to cancel. I'm getting the tea time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Where at?
I don't know. Or maybe we'll just do top golf
anywhere,
or something.
Yeah.
By the way, we have shout outs and closeouts coming up next. Line up your calls.
Yeah.
I know I have a school to shout out, and no, it's not Temple. Chris has something as well, and Nate wasn't here last Friday. Nate will be a part of shout outs and closeouts.
I got my swagger back.
There you go.
We need an update on Nate's Valentine's.
We will get an update on Nate's Valentine's.
Nice.
Shout outs and closeouts coming up next. 916-339-1140. Line up your calls, line up your texts, and get on the Sack Chat. If you want us to shout somebody out on these here airwaves, we will also do dog segment
You missed
for
Alan's mom shout him out
Sundays.
last week, too.
She called in?
She called in.
Mom,
Dude, that's crazy.
You don't have to
Awesome.
call in again, Mom.
No, she could call. I didn't get to talk to her.
No,
my mom has called into the morning show, and we did a whole bit with my mom for like 15 minutes. It was kind of a nightmare.
There you go. If your daughter is about to put up a quintuple double this weekend,
Nicole Jokic.
yes, shout outs and closeouts coming up next. Get on the line, 916-339-1140. If your dog has been really sweet to you during a tough time, get on the line.
Yeah.
If you had a really well-made coffee earlier this morning or earlier this week, shout-outs and closeouts coming up next. Line them up, and we will read and get to as many as we can. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-647-0499. 800-647-0499. That's 800-647-0499.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try. Finance for GM.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
All right. This is a little bit delayed, but we want to hear, and Nate, we don't even know if there is anything else to this, any more meat on this bone, but did you get to redo? As we get ready, you can line them up now, by the way, shout outs and closeouts. Right now, we see some of you on the text line. We will read them. We see some of you on the SAC chat. We will read them. Line them up, 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation and give a shout out to whoever. Give a shout out to your hubby. Give a shout out to wifey. Give a shout out to someone you're taking on a date this weekend. Anybody you'd like, but Nate.
I think that might be a little too far. It's like second date, and you're like, I want to shout out this girl. I really like her. We'll see if it's gonna work or not.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
but shout out anyway. If you want to, if you want
to blow it, go for it.
All right. Now Nate's doing. Now Nate's giving relationship advice. But speaking of, Nate, did you get to redo Valentine's Day?
Nope. Kayla got a severe ear infection. She's still messed up from it. Her whole septum, is just her eyes started to swell, which is like a sign of an like a bad ear infection.
Yeah.
And we've really, it's the stereotypical answer, but time has been tough for us. I mean, I've been working a decent amount.
Yeah.
And she is in a transitional phase. She is getting promoted and moving.
Nice.
Yeah.
So moving up. So shout out to Kayla. Big shout out.
Now you got to find a different one.
Yeah. She's what do you mean?
A different shout out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
She's been there. I don't know how I'm still in this mix. But so she's just been messed up. But we went to Pacifica. That kind of made up for it a little bit.
Right.
Went to this weird little bar. They were doing a sound check for like an hour and a half. It was very funny. But so just testing, boom, and then for an hour. But no, haven't made it up yet.
Do you plan to at this point? I mean, you're already pretty far.
Yeah,
clear.
we're a little far away. Made her dinner. I think it's kind of been skipped this year. Just it was just a storm going on.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Well, shout out Kayla.
Shout out Kayla though on the promotion.
Shout out Kayla. And with that being said, Nate, let's get the music going. Let's get to shout outs and closeouts.
Yeah, let's get the music going, huh?
Let's get it going.
Maybe get the shout outs going. And then
we gotta wait for it. We gotta wait for the music.
All right. I had it ready to go.
There you go. Shout outs and closeouts. We will go around, and I guess Nate, you already did one, so you can do another one if you have another one. I'm going to go first today. My shout out is I'm getting texts from my buddies, my high school buddies, saying shout out to De La Salle basketball squad today going up against 8th ranked Salesian for the NCS title tonight. And it is at Salesian, big time underdogs. Salesian star player is a 6'9" UCLA commit. And it's at Salesian.
Salesian's no joke, too, huh? Aren't they?
They're always
usually nice. Aren't
they? So De La Salle, big time underdogs. You got to go to Salesian. So shout out De La. Everyone thinks we're just
a site there
for NCS. No,
really.
But if they go to state, it would be they'll play. Right. I don't know if they play at Chase Center.
Chris, what happened with your
Golden One? Yeah,
your high school.
So my high school actually played on Wednesday. They played against Sac High. Shout out Sac High and everybody over there. But also shout out Christian Brothers who reached the D3 section title there. It's been a while. I can't remember the last time that Christian Brothers reached that far. On the men's side, the women's side has been fantastic. I went to one of their games last Friday. Unfortunately, they lost that one, but they're going to be back next year. They're a really, really good team. But yeah, shout out CB Men's for making that D3 run. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short, but shout out Sac High. They're always a monster, obviously in the Sacramento area. And just fell a little bit short, but
Sac High,
just great
Sacramento
to be there.
High.
Sacramento High School.
I mean,
yes, sir.
that's the classic, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't beat.
It was
you can't beat a
storybook,
team like
storybook, dude.
Yeah,
that. That
Destiny's
is story.
team.
I mean, that's just a great American matchup, right
It's
there.
just a great American
Sacramento
matchup.
High.
Yeah.
Nate, did you have another one?
I got it. Yeah. I got
Sure.
a couple quick. First
Because
one.
significant others, we could do that every week.
First one. Shout out to the Soda Squirt, underrated soda.
It is.
I love. It's a great soda. Grapefruit soda.
Mhm.
Who would have guessed?
That's right.
And then, shout out to where I'll be hanging out tonight, Riley's in Chico. Frankie's aware of that place. It's
You're going to Riley's?
yeah.
Isn't that like the Chico
Yeah.
bar?
Yeah. It's one.
Are you in college still, Nate?
I was gonna
Isn't
say-
that the college bar?
No. You can do what you want.
I mean, we're just going to hang out.
No, I
We'll
know.
be there.
I know
Yeah.
it's like a Chico staple, so I know like
We'll be there.
Yeah.
You got some
and-
friends up there?
Yeah. There's some friends around.
Okay.
There
So.
you go. Is Kayla going?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say.
Ear infection and all.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, powering
She's
through.
into the antibiotics, so those are going. They're working. Make sure if you're taking antibiotics, take all of them.
Shout out antibiotics. Here we go on the Sac Chat. Arthur, shout out you guys either driving or YouTube. Always a great listen, especially Sactown specific sports. Thank you to Arthur. Let's see. Ward, shout out to my job Scan Source for sending my wife and I on a vacation to Puerto Rico in April. There you go, Ward.
Wow.
Enjoy
That's
your
awesome.
time in Puerto Rico. I've always wanted to go to Puerto Rico. I have not been.
Yeah.
Ward, when you get back in April, gotta let us know how it is.
Yeah.
Amid Rock, shout out to my friends on the chat. Go Kings.
Yes.
There you go. Ryan Williams, Art giving Nate a little bit of a stray. Shout out to producers who have music ready to go. Nicely done, Ryan Williams.
That's not a stray. That's a direct hit, and maybe deserved. Who knows?
That's right. The Jocos Locos, shout out to my sons, Matthias and Quentin, who are listening with me
nice
right now on the radio. Manny Too Legit. Shout out my grandma May for making me the person who I am.
Boom.
Nice.
Rest in paradise.
Yes.
There you go. Shout out to Manny. Really good stuff there. On the text line, 209, shout out to the great people behind Last Dive Bar and the Oakland 68s. Fan Fest going to be awesome. Also, shout out my awesome little ones, Ben and Ellie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shout outs and closeouts.
Yeah, definitely shout out everyone who's going to that. Absolutely shout out Last Dive Bar in the Oakland 68s for sure. That's going to be a crazy good event. Hope all goes well there. Hope everyone has a great time, and I hope everybody just kind of. I wish I were going. Maybe I will. Maybe who knows? Maybe I'll sneak in last minute. But I'd just love to hear from that collection of people. I'd love to hear the conversations they have about what's going on, because that's everybody who cares deeply about the A's is going to be in there. So I just hope that's a great day for everybody.
Yeah, and look, the weather 70 degrees.
Yeah,
I know it's
couldn't ask for
normally
better.
similar. I'm sure it's not going to be too different out there in the Bay. So definitely go check it out if you're available. Jess Escoto, one of our P1s. Shout out 1140 for the free Hannibal Burrs tickets. Appreciate
Yes.
you guys.
Morning
Dwayne
show.
Baker. Shout out my son Connor in week 6 of Navy boot camp.
Nice.
Shout out to Connor, as we will quickly do our dog segment as well. Well, I missed my chance to do Kevin Herter.
Yep.
So now I can't do it, as Nate's giving me evil eyes right there. I'm still waiting for now Keegan is turning into maybe a don't touch Keegan either. I think I'm going to go
We
with,
can go there.
honestly, you said that Sabonis and Zubac last time it was supposed to be a situation, and it wasn't.
It was not.
So I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm just gonna go classic here with Sabonis, and hopefully this is the game where he shows who he really is against the Clippers.
Right, there you go. My dog for Sunday is going to be Malik Monk. I'm really trying to speak this into existence. I just want this Clipper game to be exactly like the last time these two teams played in the second game after the All-Star break. I want the 176-175. Malik was huge in that game. I'm hoping that they can kind of channel some of that energy. So I'm gonna have Malik as my dog on Sunday.
There you go, Nate. 2 seconds. Who's your dog?
Keegan.
All righty, got to get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for listening throughout the week. You have the Drive Guys up next with Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. Until Monday, secure the bag, light the beam.
Has Monty put together a roster